Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, the football and pro wrestling podcast we bring you each and every week. It is a Shankly Sessions one tonight. We are going to do a Thursday tier talk as well. Don't worry about that. But Darren will be joining us just after half time, I'd say, where we will be talking about the FA Cup and this week's kind of Premier League results and where we're at kind of with the title race and relegation and the managerial merry-go-round. And might even get a chance to touch a little bit on the AFCON. But for most of the show, we're going to be doing the watch along here for Arsenal versus Liverpool. Massive game, massive opportunity for Arsenal here to really put proper daylight between themselves and City and Villa. Forget about us. We're just taking part at the moment in the top four situation. How we are still in the top four, I'll never know. Chelsea and Man United, good Lord. Plenty going on there, as they say. But if you go through the lineups at the moment, you'll see there, like, Arsenal so strong. So strong. Emirates looks amazing as well at night time with the light show and everything else. It does look phenomenal, I have to say. But they've a real opportunity to really stretch that advantage out now. I don't know what to make of our lineup, to be honest. I don't know what he could have put together. I know there was a lot of talk beforehand about Ekitike and whether he would be playing, whether he would be risked. Obviously, it's a massive risk with Isaac not being available probably for the rest of the season. I don't know whether we can afford to risk the boy, and I don't know. I think if you look at the approach to this game, and like Arsenal's starting 11 plus that bench, man, is just unbelievable. Like, really unbelievable. But I think it's gonna be a real tough night at the office for Liverpool. I think that's what I predicted on the preview as well, prior to seeing the lineups. Now with Ekitike, the kind of main man this season, missing as well, it's going to be so tough. So tough. Players are in the tunnel, so we're going to be coming out. I'm not sure. Originally they had us in the white strip, and it looks like we're going to wear the white strip as well with the red, which is kind of strange. I'm surprised at that as well, if that's what we're going with. So that's what's on the graphic. Because I thought it might clash a little bit with the Arsenal kit. No, I thought maybe we would wear the green. But however, we're going out onto the pitch now. So make sure you sync it up with us, folks. We are on Sky Sports Premier League. So if you want to sync it up with that, I will let you know as soon as we kick off. Let us know your predictions in the comments. Lads, I have to say, this is a real tough one for me to come on. It's a tough watch along as well, and I'm feeling shit as well. Like, I'm dying here with the flu, and I just came over a bit with a flu poison as well. So, what a watch along to jump on, But I said, it's better than me lying on my bed feeling sorry for myself, and come on and chat with you guys about and stuff like that. I can't see anything less here than an Arsenal 3-1 or, Arsenal 3-0 or something like that. If we could get a draw here, it would be absolutely sensational. Like, we couldn't pick a worse time to play them. They literally have full complement. All their big guns are back and stuff like that. Gabriel's there. Saliba's back. They've so many options on the bench now. Seen Madueke the other day coming on, absolutely electric. Declan Rice, all these guys. A lot of trouble internally for us at the moment as well. A lot of talk of stuff between yous and Slot not too good at the moment. An awful lot of talk at the moment about Slot and some of the senior players not too good at the moment. Lots of different stuff like that going on at the minute. Lots of talk even coming out this evening. We don't know how true it is now, but lots of talk coming out this evening that Slot even wanted to play and risk Ekitike, but was overruled or something like that. That's what I heard anyway. So I don't know. I think if we get a hiding here tonight, I think you might see a change coming. I really do. I just think I don't know whether the kind of the atmosphere and everything else that's around the club at the moment. I don't know whether I think we could see a change potentially. I'll be over in Liverpool. I'm on the cop for the Barnsley game on Monday night at 8 o'clock. So we'll bring you some coverage over there all from around Anfield and stuff like that, as we always do for the podcast and stuff like that. Heading over with Ben for we're heading over on the Sunday and come back on the Tuesday. So really look forward. I haven't been over in ages. Dying to go over and obviously, officially pay my respects to the Diogo Jota as well, of course. Forever at 20. What have you guys made? What do you think of the lineup? Like, the options on that bench are just non-existent. We're so bad at the moment. We've named 3 goalkeepers in total just to pad out the bench. That's shocking, I mean. I think Arsenal are going to get a few here. Like, we can't defend the set piece, which is their strength. They've got so many options to come on after 60, 70 minutes to run us ragged. It's going to be a real difficult one. We've got players playing all over the place. It's a filthy night as well in London. Absolutely filthy night. So I don't know whether that will help us or not help us. Let us know your predictions, folks. Let us know in the chat. Dan, big up, Dan. How are you, pal? Let us know your predictions. Big up, Keith. How are you, bro? Hey, pal, I have no confidence for us in this game. We need to be making some moves in the January window. We're sitting on our hands, man. Semenyo off to Man City. Look at him last night. What a goal last night. If you were ever going to have a send-off for your club before you go do a medical and leave, that goal last night was absolutely sensational. Baz is in as well. Big up, Baz. Hope you're good, my friend. Even, bro, what's the crack? The crack is, I don't know whether have I ever dreaded a game as much as this one. This could be a hiding. This could be a hiding. Like, I don't know. Sometimes this Liverpool team surprises us. You know what I mean? Arsenal fan base in full voice. Mixed reviews about the song and stuff like that, isn't there? But they seem to be getting into. We're about to kick off here, by the way, folks. Keith is in with a 1-1. Keith, we take that all day, wouldn't we? We would take that all day. Right, we just kicked off there, folks. Ball back with Konate going long. Ball just bobbling around at the moment. Arsenal coming into this game, isn't a 5 on the bounce as well. Very strong. And I think they're unbeaten at home as well this season, as well, as far as I know. So very strong. A tough place for teams to go. Now, we've seen with the right setup and stuff like that and the right attitude, we've seen teams here, although they haven't picked up wins, they've been able to remain competitive into the deep end of games and stuff like that. And also, if we can do that, great. Yeah. So let's see. Ball back with Saliba over to Gabriel. I'd say Arsenal are going to be fairly patient here as well, aren't they? They know they have the quality, you know. We're going to have to work extremely hard tonight, but also we're going to have to work extremely clever. Because if we gas out in this, there's not a huge amount of options there for us on the bench. And Arsenal have a whole flood of options there available to them. So we're going to have to be on this absolute 100%. We couldn't play Wolves today, for fuck's sake, with Man United and Chelsea dropping points again. And now, and every time they've dropped them, then we've done it as well, isn't it? So, and it's a massive caveat as well for Arsenal tonight, Keith, isn't it? Because obviously with City dropping points and Villa dropping points and, you know, Chelsea dropping off, Man United dropping off, this is really setting up. This has kind of shades of last season about it, hasn't it, with us, where teams are just dropping off and practically handing it to you. Like, we're offering up this Prem to Arsenal nearly on a platter at this stage, aren't we? You know, I loved Szoboszlai's interview the other day, where he was asked about Arsenal as champions, stuff like that, and he says, "No, we're going there. We're the champions. They're not the champions. We're the champions." And I did like that bit of chest, you know what I mean? But like, you gotta then back it up, you know what I mean? You gotta back it up if you're gonna show some chest, you know what I mean? So we'll see on the left-hand side here with Kerkez with a throw in, going back to his captain, back to Allison. Filthy night. This is the only thing. This could be a real game here tonight where it's going to be messy and scrappy because of the conditions, and it could come down to the goalkeepers, really. You know what I mean? It could really come down to goalkeepers, because it's just it is a filthy night. Go on, Frimpong. Oh, unlucky. Look at that rain. Good Lord. I hope it's not like that on Monday night. I'm already dying with the flu. I don't need any extra hassle. I can't wait to be on the cop again with everyone in full voice and stuff like that. FA Cup game against Barnsley as well. Be pretty cool, you know. Do like Barnsley as a club as well. So And no doubt they'll bring a fairly strong contingent as well. So should be good crack as well. Should be a good atmosphere. Always something special about the FA Cup. And for us, like, I mean, the FA Cup, although we're in a top 4 race here, and that's going to the bare minimum, really, isn't it? You would imagine that the FA Cup would be really our last genuine opportunity at silverware, wouldn't it? We're out of the Carabao Cup. We ain't getting the sniff of the league. Let's be honest, lads. I know people were shaking their bum at it there a few weeks ago, but I don't see that happening in any way, shape, or form. Even with a win tonight, like, I think it would be a massive struggle. And then, I just think as well, like, Champions League, there's too many good teams in that Champions League. So I can't see that happening either. I think that'll be a real struggle for us as well. So let's see what happens. But I think the FA Cup is the last chance for us. I think anyway. 1 second here. But we'll see what happens. But I wouldn't have a lot of faith. I wouldn't have a lot of faith in it, to be honest. Real struggle for us at the moment. Dun, dun, dun. Well, let us know, man. Let us know your thoughts, folks. Let us know what you think. Where are we now? Bum, bum, bum. One second here, I'm just getting a message. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, God. People always get in contact with you, don't they, when you're absolutely doing something. Bum, bum, bum. Mad. Keith. Paul, we ain't winning any trophy this season. We're absolute pony. Top 4 is a must this season. It is a must, especially with what we spent. Oh, I don't know. It's just... I mean, you never know. You could get a decent run in the FA Cup or something like that, you know what I mean? Arteta's getting what he asked for anyway. They're in full voice. Horrific evening. It's a bit too strong. So I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult to play balls like that in these conditions. Very, very difficult. You're going to really have to get the ball on the deck and use the ball on the deck in a clever kind of way, because balls over the top are just going to skid off the surface. They're going to have to be so precise. Kerkez. Throw in here with Kerkez on the left-hand side. I hope the refereeing and the VAR tonight is top notch as well. You know what I mean? Because you have to allow, you have to allow a little bit of leniency on some of these things in relation, because of the conditions and stuff like that. Players are going to go in and tackle, and it's going to look a hell of a lot worse than what it might seem. So VAR are going to have to play a big role here tonight and stuff like that, because, you could have players going in here for attacking because of the conditions. It just looks way worse than it is. So I hope the game wouldn't be spoiled by some stupid decision like that. Liverpool right penned in here at the moment by Arsenal. Arsenal with plenty of options. Liverpool were kind of like 2 banks of 4, really. Not even much of an out player, really. Arsenal kind of stretch it and switch it. Saliba with a trail ball. Great trail ball. Alisson smothers. Very lucky there. Timber on the run there, folks. Timber getting in behind. Snuck right in behind Gravenberch, I think it was it? Oh, another poor pass there on the back foot again now. Liverpool here all over the shop at the moment. Slicing balls. No real out either. Arsenal in full control here. It's going to be a long night, folks. It's going to be a long night. Kerkez staying nice and tight on Saka, but needs to be careful with that as well, because if Saka turns and we get that kind of space in behind, we're going to be in real trouble. Verts has been improving in the last few weeks. He has, but there's talk, Keith, I don't know if you read it. There's talk he's carrying a bit of a niggle in his hamstring, and they're kind of babying him through games. That's the talk at the moment, Keith. So I don't know. Corner here to Arsenal. Saka links win this, I'd imagine. The big boys are going up as well. This is where we need to lay down a marker. Excuse me. This is where we need to be really, really strong. It's where we need to show a bit of intent here. If we start floundering on these kind of things, then we're going to have a real problem. Corner incoming here from Saka on the left-hand side. Well defended there. Was right under the post. And we broke away. Oh, referee. Ref, that has to be a card. Yeah. Had to be a card. Trossard getting booked there. I think he pulled down. I'm not sure where that was, a punch or was a header. Vert's getting the ball off him there and he pulling Verts down, who was on the break. Now, like, he wasn't last man around like that, so he wouldn't have been. But getting booked. Look at those conditions, folks. Horrific. Look at the players. The players are drenched already, and we're what, 12 minutes in. Yeah, I think Keith as well with Verts. I think he's dampened down a little bit on the step overs and not flash. He's realised that, like, when you do that in the Premier League, you just get upended. And I think he's shown a little bit better decision making, and he's shown a little bit. He's shown a little bit more physicality as well. I think the first few months playing for us there, he was getting kind of beat up on the pitch and stuff like that as well. He looked very lightweight and stuff like that as well. But I think now he's starting to show just that little bit of physicality. So you look at that touch there from Verts trying to link up with, say, Frimpong. That's the issue. It's having the options when you break forward. Like, he's literally on the wing there now. He's probably going to put a ball into the box, maybe. There's not a whole lot in there. 2 guys in the box against 6 of Arsenal's. You're going to have to be so precise if you get anything out of that. You know? But clearly we've set up here to play on the counter big time. We're not going to be coming out to play, I would imagine. We're going to be sitting in nice and tight. We know the danger that's there from Arsenal. And we're going to try and play on the counter big time. It's when you listen to the commentary as well, isn't it? Silva Mendy, Timber, Declan Rice. You know what I mean? It's just, like, you can't deny, regardless of how you feel about Arsenal. And I was always a big fan of Arsenal as a football club as well. I've often said to the people that if I didn't follow Liverpool, I probably would have followed Arsenal. But certain elements, and I know a lot of Arsenal fans, but God, some of the sections of that fan base have become very, very jarring, haven't they? They've become very, very unlikable and stuff like that. And it's a shame as well, because the team is amazing. Team is electric. They've so many options, so many good players. You know what I mean? And, you know, to deliver a Prem, and look, who knows in terms of the Champions League as well, you know what I mean? It's, you know, anything could really happen, you know. Real Madrid, Isos. Big up Isos. Happy good, my friend. Happy had a good New Year and Christmas. Real Madrid 2, Atletico 0, Rodrigo. This drives me mad, doesn't it? These left-sided players, man. Somebody got a haircut. I did. I went out. You know, Dave, I was feeling so bad and I was feeling so sick. And about once a month, I go out and I get a haircut, you know. I go out and I get a haircut and I get the beard done, the whole lot, the facial, the head massage, the whole lot. I treat myself, as they say. And once a month I do this, and it takes about an hour. And I really, really enjoy it. And it's just that hour to myself once a month. And I went out today thinking, you know something, I'm feeling so bad. I feel all rotten, you know. I said, I go out and do this, and it might make me feel better. And for most of the day, I felt grand. And then it's just this evening. I don't know where it's the thoughts of facing Arsenal at the Emirates with this lineup and stuff like that has me feeling even sicker. But I just started feeling a bit crappy there about an hour and a half ago again. So, but I'm taking everything. Look, I got Sinex here, and I got Otravenous there, and got the Broncos stop. This is mad, isn't it? This is mad. So yeah, once a month I do it. You're the exact same, are you? Once a month. Yeah, you look after yourself once a month. Do you mean you're the same you do that, or do you mean you're feeling terrible? Oh, no, get it out. God, the ball. Don't be trying to play football in your own box now. You got to be real careful when you're doing that, boy. God, Arsenal there with a couple of good chances. Unlucky, just ball didn't fall, then fell to us. We were very lucky in that case. There was Arsenal. Do you know what it is? The Arsenal players are all pushing forward so much. There's no one arriving into the box late to pick up in this sack it offside, is it? But they're all bum rushing the 6-yard box, and when the ball is cut back, there's no one there arriving late. And that's, otherwise they could be 2-0 up at this stage. Thank God. Yeah, let us know, Dave. You just feeling shitty, or do you treat yourself once a month as well, where you just go out and decompress? I just don't want Arsenal to win the title. I can't stand that manager, and the fan base is insufferable and deluded. I think sections of it, Keith. Sections of it, certainly. I know a lot of good Arsenal fans who are very much on the level and stuff like that. A lot of them still want Arteta to go, believe it or not, and stuff like that. It's crazy, you know. But yeah, it's going to Keith. Who's going to stop them? Man City look all over the place now. If they get Gahey and Semenyo in and maybe one other, might have a chance. Liverpool on the break here now. Have players forward, players racing up. Kerkez on the left-hand side here. Ball coming into the box. Doesn't. Ball back with Raya. Definitely playing on the counter here, folks. Going to soak it up and stuff like that. Yeah, hot tail shave, that works. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and it's nice, Dave, isn't it? It is nice when you know, once a month you just take that hour to yourself. You know, where I go in and I switch my phone off, I put my phone on airplane mode. I take off all the volume and stuff like that. No one disturbs me. And I just have that hour to myself. Saka with a shot there, time enough curling into the left-hand side there, Allison down to claim it. But like that's the kind of opportunity in these conditions that could test keepers and stuff like that and all, you know. Acers Atletico 1, Real 2. Interesting, feisty affair. Have Atletico been scoring goals this season and stuff? I haven't watched much La Liga this season. But anytime I look at Atletico, they seem to be scoring goals. I know that United were originally, was it United? We're linked with Conor Gallagher. Not too sure where that is now. I don't think, probably wouldn't happen anyway. So, yeah, I will talk with Darren later. Darren's coming on after half time, and we will be doing the usual Thursday tier talk as well as continuing with the watch along. But we'll be talking FA Cup, the recent results, managerial merry-go-round, everything that's going on at the moment, and where we see more changes coming. It's a changer. What's the crack, pal? Yeah, absolutely. So they were switching the ball out to ball out wide here with Hincapié. It's mad, isn't it, as well, when you look at the players they've brought in. I know Victor Yerkes hasn't exactly lit up things, really, you know. But if you look at the players that have come in, the transition is so smooth. When you look at the likes of Moreno and Calafiori and, you know, Hincapié after coming in, the other boy, who was the boy at the back? Mosquera or something is his name? Big lad at the back, the central defender. Like, they just seamlessly smooth. You know, they just move into the team. There's no real drama. Ball in. Oh. Good defensive header there from Conor Bradley. Drop back in there now for cover. Ball into the box. Another good defensive header there. We see him all over the place here a little bit, folks. Stellar, like we're 2 banks of 4 and stuff like that. Or 2 banks of 5, whatever way you want to look at it. Not much out for us though here, you know, even on the counter. So we'll keep on pressing, but Arsenal just poking the ball around here now. You feel from one of these things there's going to be a shot from about 30 yards or something that will just, you know, rattle a goal or, you know, a mess up from a keeper or something like that, because the conditions are horrific. Liverpool win the ball back. It was a handball, ref, no? Frimpong back to Bradley. Back to Konate. Frimpong pushed over, ref, no? Come on, Bradley, drop back in. Oh, you got the throw-in. Throw with Trossard. Trossard needs to be careful here. He's on a booking. Like we seen this last night with Chelsea, and he needs to be really careful. These refs at the moment are only looking for an excuse at the moment to drop them, isn't it? Yeah, so let's see what happens. Cheers, Dave. Appreciate that, Paul. Appreciate it. I do have time for Craig, though, in fairness. I used to watch Craig back in the early days and stuff like that. I think Seagulls will destroy United comfortably on Sunday. I don't know. Where's that? Is that where is that? It's at Old Trafford as well, Acers. And look, don't take anything away from last night as well. I thought United last night played pretty good. I know it's a stinker of a draw against Burnley and stuff like that, but I thought there was really good moments in that game. they had to take off the likes of Bruno and stuff like that because obviously they're nursing them back and stuff like that and all. But up to that point, I think actually if Fletcher had kept Bruno on maybe for another 10 minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, I think we could have seen a different game. I thought Sesko was really good. I thought his touches for both goals I thought were excellent. Thought Kobe Mainu came on. Obviously, he hasn't been playing much and stuff like that, so he looked a little bit flat and stuff like that now. But I wouldn't have said last night that United played bad. But I don't think, Keith, it's I don't. There's talk coming out tonight now that it's Trossard on the run into the box here. Good defending again. We're defending really well here, folks. We are defending really well. That's poor. That's poor, lads. You can't play football in your own box. You cannot play football in your own box. Trossard pressing here like crazy as well. I'm not sure. I read something today that there might be a bit of a U-turn on that Ollie situation. I think they might still be going. I think there's talk they might still be going with Carrick. I haven't heard anything else about it, but I read something today, Ollie. But I heard the guy that they want in the summer, I heard is Thomas Tuchel. Now, that would be very interesting. How would you feel? AFCON knockouts tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. Really looking forward to it. How's everyone? Has anyone been catching up on the AFCON? There's been some crazy decisions and stuff, isn't it? The refereeing is just mad, but I love that. I love the AFCON. We haven't covered it much because we haven't been doing much over the Christmas because obviously I've been sick and stuff like that, and the boys have been busy and all, and Mark was doing crazy hours and stuff. So we didn't really get a chance to cover it properly the way we did last time when I think last time most of it was in January, wasn't it? We were able to cover it a lot easier, but this time it's been more difficult. But we kept in touch with it and we're still talking about it in the WhatsApp group. And no doubt Darren will touch on it later because a lot of his predictions and the predictions we made on the night when we were previewing it, actually the likes of Mali and all are still in there, So, but we'll talk about it. Liverpool on the attack here. Need to get back into shape here, lads. We are possessing a bit of a threat on the break. Nothing major, like, you know what I mean? We've broke a couple of times now, 2 or 3 times now, where we've looked a little bit dangerous, but Arsenal have been getting back in numbers to crowd it out as well. I think the difference between ourselves and Arsenal is when we attack, the numbers are quite tight. When they attack, they can flood the numbers. Gravenberch is so clever the way he uses the ball. See, like Frimpong has the ball there now. You'd expect an early ball into the box and stuff like that, but it doesn't happen because really there's no one in the box. There's no one there, so we're not committing people into the box at all. So playing the ball out into the wing play is kind of a busted flush, really, a little bit, isn't it? Because, you know, if we're not going to put players in the box or risk players going forward at this stage anyhow, I think the wing play is going to be a lot more cutting in and intricate passing and trying to open things up a little bit, hope for something to just come to us or something. We're on the attack here, though. 26 minutes, 25, 21 here gone, folks, in the 26 minute here as well. So it's 0-0. Arsenal now drop back to, it's shifted a little bit here. Might be Arsenal just they've been steamrolling a little bit. Maybe they're just taking their foot off the gas for the moment, have a bit of a breather. We're just moving the ball around, you know, the way we move it, back to front and across and all. Back to Konate, I think it is, back to Alisson. I do not like that goalkeeper pass, do you? I do not like that pass centrally to a player in that position on the box. We're on the run here now. Player down the bottom, open here. Oh, he nearly played a pass him. Oh, yeah. Oh, hit the post, hit the bar. Oh, man. Arsenal all over the shop here. Oh, don't run it in. Don't run it in. Unload. Take the shot. I keep on saying horrific conditions. Test the keeper. Don't be trying to walk the ball in. Arsenal all over the place here at the moment. Frimpong out on the right-hand side with the ball after crashing the ball off the bar there. And it was a lovely opportunity as well. Raya come out, he had made a mess. Ball fell to the Liverpool player and just left fly. Very unlucky. Could have been 1-0 up there. Could have been 1-0 up. We're moving the ball around really nice here, like. And I don't mean to sound shocking because we are capable of doing this, but we just at times to say Frimpong. Oh, corner to Liverpool. Timber tearing, I think, into his own teammates, I think. Is that not a corner? I don't know. When is Salah back? Whenever Egypt crash out, he'll probably come back about a week later or something like that. We don't know, Kate. That's kind of an open question, really, isn't it? You know, because a lot of talk that he may or may not even come back. We don't know, but let's see what happens here. Oh, that's so unlucky. So unlucky. Tuchel would touch United with a barge ball due to transfer power. I don't know, because I resume Acers at that stage. You may not be dealing with the contingents of Barada and Wilcox as well, because I know there's trouble there as well. We get Dazzler's take on it when he comes on. Say Dazzler going to Old Tulla for Derby on Saturday week, yeah. He is. No, actually, he's not. He's not going over to that game as far as now. Liverpool just hit the bar. We did just hit the bar. Now we drop back in now, back into a defensive formation here. Crazy that's 130 days since Dominic Szoboszlai winner. It is, it's mad, isn't it? And it's been a horrible 130 days, Acers. Horrible. Not a whole lot to cheer about, in fairness. Not a whole lot to cheer about in that time. When you think about that run, that first 5 games, and even then we weren't playing great, but we were getting the job done. Frimpong's mad, isn't he? But yeah, listen, we're standing up here to be counted. 29 minutes gone, 0-0. In fairness, ours had a couple of chances. We've hit the bar. So, throw in here to Liverpool, deep in our half. Bradley. Let us know your thoughts, folks. What have you thought so far? I think defensively, I think we've been very good. The question is, can we hold this for 90 minutes? That's just pure stupid. That's just pure stupid. Why would you do that? Bradley's kind of like that at times, isn't he? He's just a bit. It's like a youth naivety, isn't it? It's like a youth naivety. I don't know, Dave. Kirk has a liability. I don't know. I think in recent weeks, I think he's looked okay. I think there's definitely been an improvement in him. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. You still have to convince me. You know what I mean? But then you see, you have Bradley here. Like, this is my biggest problem. This is where we give away a stupid free kick like this, a needless free kick. Player was going towards his own goal with the ball. No need to create the foul like that. And you have Rice here now with, like, it was probably one of the best deliveries in the league, if not in Europe. You know? This is our Achilles heel. If we can stand up to this and show this a few times in this match, then we may or may not, we may be okay. Good save from Allison there, just a bit too high. Yeah, thoughts and prayers definitely with Kevin Keegan as well. Word that he's been diagnosed with cancer and stuff like that and all. And geez, we love Kevin Keegan, don't we? We love him. The funny thing about it, like, we even love him from his Newcastle days and everything. The entertainment he provided and those years in the Premier League and all, when Newcastle were going head to head with United and stuff like that, it was like, and the way Fergie used to wind them up and all. But folks, go back and get a highlight reel of Kevin Keegan. Kevin Keegan was one hell of a fucking footballer. A hell of a footballer. I don't know. Do you know what it is, Dave? I think, yeah, so there's a little bit of that. Mainly comes in defence. And like, I find, like you say that's just, that those free kicks there are just needless, because now we're going to have to face up another ball coming into the box from whoever. I don't know who takes this side. Is it Odegaard or whatever takes this side? Might be even Rice comes over again. So, like, you just, like, that's just needless, because you know the minute you put your hands on him, you know he's going to go down. Because you know that their modus is going to be to win as many free kicks and corners as they can, and eventually we'll wilt under the pressure of these set pieces, because that's what we have shown this season. You know what I mean? Yeah, he did help us win our first European trophy, 100%. Serious footballer as well. Serious footballer. Serious footballer. So big shout out. We'll keep an eye on that as well. But absolutely thoughts and support and all go out to Kevin and his family and stuff like that at this real difficult time. Absolutely horrible diagnosis to get. I can't even imagine. My own mother passed away. My own mother passed away from it. And I was there with her to the bitter end, and it was just fucking horrific, man. Horrific. Thomas Frank holding Arsenal teacup. Yeah, Acers. What was that about? What was that about? You know what I mean? But I seen today, what's all this today that there's going to be an inquest about it and all this kind of thing? Someone obviously handed him an Arsenal cup to take the fucking piss, and he didn't fucking realise. I think it was genuine. There was nothing in it and stuff like that. I think Spurs have much bigger issues than whether Thomas Frank was holding a leftover coffee cup with Arsenal on it from the previous game. Fuck off, Spurs, like, you know what I mean? So sad. You know what I mean? This is what triggers you. This is what triggers you. Not the fact that your club is selling off Brennan Johnson at a time where you are absolutely fucking shit. You know what I mean? That's where your energy should be. Not Thomas Frank mistakenly holding the fucking Arsenal cup. Crazy. Crazy sometimes when you deal with some of these fan bases and stuff like that. Absolutely insane. Again, let us know your thoughts. It was funny though, and then you see all the memes and all the pictures today on Twitter. You have Thomas Frank sitting on the bed in his bedroom, and the whole bedroom is decked out with Arsenal gear. Look, you swear the guy wore a fucking Arsenal jersey out or something, or a track top or something. Fuck's sake, he was holding a coffee cup with an Arsenal emblem on him from a cup that was left over from the previous fucking game. Give over. I mean, it's a fucking genuine mistake. I don't think Thomas Frank either. Excuse me. I don't think Thomas Frank either is the type of guy as well that wants to fucking throw shade at the situation. He knows his fucking job is on the line as it is. He's been the fucking thing's been horrific under his tutelage and stuff like that and all. You know what I mean? So I don't think he needs to ratchet it up anyway. You know what I mean? I would argue Thomas Frank is probably a couple of who are they playing? Who are they playing the FA Cup? Who have Spurs got in the FA Cup? I have the listing here in front of me, but I can't see it. Tottenham, Aston Villa. I think if Aston Villa dumped them out of the FA Cup, looking at where they are in the league position and stuff like that and all, I think that there'll be huge questions over Thomas Frank. And here, this is a Thomas Frank fan, remember. How much have we spoke about Thomas Frank on this podcast, myself and Darren and Mark, at times about the fantastic job he did at Brentford. And to be honest, the move to Spurs seemed like a really, really strange one. Really, really strange. Yeah, Villa, just saying their Aces there now, yeah. Absolutely. See, this is the kind of thing you can't be doing. You know what I mean? Arsenal backroom team must have left Arsenal cups and Bournemouth away dressing room from. So yeah, I mean that's what it was. That's the talk. It was left there. You know what I mean? But it's mad as a manager, and they normally come out last. They don't come out first. Hang on, Liverpool on the attack here again. Man, you're not getting a pen for that. Get up, Frimpong. You're not getting a pen for that. Hardly. I didn't see a lot of it here now, and I don't know whether that VAR are going to look at it, but I didn't see. Arsenal on the attack here now. Just goes from back to front so quick with both teams, doesn't it? Saka now. Kirkes standing him up. Stand him up. Stand him up, Milos. Don't let him go down the line. Stand him up. Stand him up. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. What's going on here? What's all the fucking... What's wrong? What's all the light up here? What's all the light? What's the issue? Obviously, Frimpong is in the centre of it, but what's Declan Rice so incensed about? I mean, Van Dijk was hardly asking him to put the ball out of play, were he? It wasn't a head injury or anything. didn't touch him. He did himself there, did he? Am I looking at that he stabbed his own foot there? I don't think he touched him there. I think he did his own foot there. I think that was his own foot got caught in the turf there. I don't think that was an Arsenal tackle. What do you think? Yeah, now he's down, Dave, yeah. He should be able to get back up. He should be all right. That wasn't that bad. That felt like he did himself there. What do you think looking at the replay, folks? Looks like he kind of twisted his own foot there. It wasn't. I don't think there was a huge amount of contact there because if you look at the way his foot goes, if it's in Cape or whoever it is, his foot seems to be behind and under Frimpong's foot. So you couldn't really make an action like that, I don't think, the way the action was. That's the way I'm looking at it anyway. He's hobbling around now. You get to the centre line and then he'd be grand. At times you look at Frimpong, he needs to just harden up a little bit, doesn't he? I think anyway. I think he just needs to harden up a little bit. What have we got here? Corner to Arsenal on the left-hand side anyway. Let's see, can we defend this the way we've been defending balls? That's it. Get it out, lads. I have to say, our defending on set pieces, touch wood now, I don't want to say too much, but our defending on set pieces tonight and on crosses has been, ain't been too bad. I don't want to tempt fate here, you know. See, that touch there is horrific, isn't it? Yeah, Limpong. Limpong, yeah. He needs to be, because he looks like he could be a little terrier, doesn't he? He looks like he could be a little terrier, but at times in that moment in the tackles and stuff, he just seems to be a little bit soft at times. There's a throw into Arsenal on the left-hand side. Let us know, folks. How have you felt about this first half so far? We're 39 minutes in. I mean, Arsenal have created a few chances. We've hit the bar on a couple of breakaways, but I think we've definitely come and set up with a game plan to spoil the party a bit. But I think I'd be concerned about how resolute we can be. I think especially with the options that they have, you know what I mean? Because you see there maybe 65, 70 minutes, they could bring on a matter weight game nice and fresh. You know what I mean? They've got the Martinelli as well. Bring those boys on fresh. You don't really have any options for Kerkez or Bradley, really. So the boys will have put in a hell of a shift for 70 minutes in fucking horrific weather. So I don't know. It will be a difficult one. So far, so good. 40 minutes in. CAEW rumour to be live in either Northern Ireland, SE Arena or Trey Arena, Dublin. I hadn't seen that at all, but certainly would be interesting. I'd imagine they get a good draw as well, because I don't think the tickets would be too extortionate either as well, which would be very pleasing on wrestling fans' eyes. Be nice to see a live AEW show as well. Now some of the boys on the podcast and all have gone to the all-ins and stuff like that, and some of the live ones. Sean was over there. Sean Mack was over there in Manchester, I think it was, a few weeks ago and stuff like that and all, and said he had a good time. He said it was a long night, but had a good time. So, be nice. And I think Bren was talking to us as well that we might potentially have a big meet-up in a group for us to go to all-in or something like that, you know, just buy cheap tickets and have a bit of crack in London for a couple of days, you know. What you thinking, Keith? We've looked good defensively, but we need to make it count when we take chances. Ball into the box needs to be defended. Rice is very strong, isn't he? He's very strong as well. I mean, even from a technical point of view, how good he is and stuff like that on the ball and all. But he's great strength as well, you know. Look, another player with foul Gravenberch there. So, those raw tickets, they came down, Dave. The raw tickets for Belfast came down. Darren picked up 2 last night at €180 each in the first few rows of the risers. He rang me last night. Darren's heading up to Belfast. It was £155, he said, for each ticket. So he did really, really well. So they've come down depending on where you want to sit. Definitely, yeah, because Morris gave him the heads up. Big up to Morris. Morris gave him the heads up yesterday on, and Darren picked up 2 tickets, so he's heading up to it. I paid 80 quid for all in both times. It was great crack the whole day at the Box Park as well, yeah. And like that's a great price, especially for that was Wembley, wasn't it? That's a great price for Wembley, like 80 quid. Because I'd imagine Wembley, you know, carries a premium as well in terms of like that service charge and stuff like that, you know. You're not booking Wembley the same way you'd book Craven Cottage or something like that, I'd imagine, you know. So in the 43rd minute here, folks. 0-0. This is just these fouls are just so frustrating and so needless. It just means you're coughing up possession again to Arsenal and stuff like that. And we've had a few of them now around our own box. You know what I mean? Eventually Arsenal will make a couple of these count. You know what I mean? Then you're wondering why it's happened. You know, you're shooting people in the back. You don't get away with that anymore. Players go down now. Players are so clever as well now in the way they go down. What do you make of Victor Gyökeres, folks? Ball into the box here, Arsenal. Great defensive header. Get it out. Great save, Alisson. Yeah. So there's a lovely switch pass in there. Well, folks, what have you made of Victor Gyökeres? There hasn't been a whole lot. Oh, we're unlucky that he didn't get the touch there, the player in the box. Right hand side again here with Timber. Timber out to Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard switching it back into the middle again. Gabriel. Very clever play around the box. Yes, well done. Lads, please don't be playing fucking football in your own box. I keep on saying this. This is going to go really bad doing this. I know he drew the foul and stuff like that as well, but this tippy-tappy football around your own box is going to be a real problem. A real problem. Keats in. We need to boot the ball away when it's in our box, holding onto the ball. I think what they're trying to do, Keith, is they're trying to launch the counter, but it's a real difficult one. What's going on there with McAllister? Someone is saying David's saying McAllister's down. Excuse me. Arteta getting extremely frustrated. Seeing him there on the sideline. I can understand it as well. It's a little bit, I wouldn't say flat, but I don't think it's kind of, you know, you heard Arteta being interviewed before the game as well. This is a massive opportunity for them. This is an opportunity to really like stick it to City and Villa, you know. Van Dijk into Alisson. I hate that ball. I'm not joking. The PTSD when that ball is played is just insane. Frimpong out on the wing, ball into the box, cleared by, I think that's Gabriel with the green boots, is it? I'm not too sure. Oh no. Mac down now with a smack in the side. Odegaard coming together. What did he do? Did he smack him in the ribs or something? See it back here now on the replay. Oh no, it was a full on elbow into that kidney area, which has been a problem for McAllister in the past. Remember when he takes smacks to the midsection, it tends to you know, I think he's been out a couple of times, hasn't he, with like rib injuries and stuff like that. No. Let's see if he can 2 minutes here I've added on time anyway, so looks like we'll be going into half time 0-0. So I would say at this stage, that's job 50% done, to be honest, because I think if we get a draw here, I'm going to be pretty... See, he didn't touch him there. I'm looking at that Frimpong replay there. He wasn't near him. You could see it. Just be careful, lads, in the chat as well. If you're slightly ahead on us, just sync up with us, you know what I mean? So, no, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. Those intricate passes on the night like tonight are very, very tough, aren't they? Yeah, Keith, it has been a good first half. I would say a good first half. I think we've been solid. You know what I mean? I'd always I know looking at the lineup and stuff like that and who we're missing and stuff like that, but I think the gaffer be quite satisfied with how we've played. I think we've defended well as a unit. I'd be a little bit more cautious on the kind of fouls given away, needless fouls, pushes in the backs and stuff like that. No, I think we need to get a bit more clever about that second half. Um, you know yourself. Yeah, half time there, 0-0. Which I think that's an excellent result for us so far. Um, Stephen Gerrard. How'd you feel about that, Dave? I was talking with Darren about that the other day. I've no problem with Stevie taking the reins in the short term if that's what's needed. I don't want to talk about it now because we've just put in a decent half at the Emirates, so I'm not too upset. But yeah, I don't know. Do you know what it is? I put Stephen Gerrard up there on a massive pedestal. Stevie's our guy. And what I said to Darren was because we create content and stuff like that, and we do the Liverpool podcast and stuff like that as well. I don't want to have to come on here and fucking dog Stephen Gerrard out. It'd be very hard for me to bring myself to do that. Stephen Gerrard has just given us so many unbelievable moments. Like he pulled that team on his back for years as well. You know what I mean? And for me to sit on here, and we know how it went with Villa, we know how it went out in Saudi, and even towards the latter end of Rangers and stuff like that. Maybe it got a little bit toxic and stuff like that. But I don't ever want to have to come on here, whatever about coming on here and talking about Slot or Klopp or whatever it is. I don't ever want to have to come on here and talk about Steven Gerrard that way. I just don't want. I just don't want to. I don't want to have to do it. You know what I mean? It'd fucking break my heart to do it. I've so much stuff around the room here, Stevie, and all. I have a canvas and an oil painting as well of Stevie lifting the Champions League that time in 05 and all and stuff. And I just, my biggest regret, I went and seen him live as well. He's a great guy as well, you know what I mean? And the sadness of that year where we didn't go on to win the league and the slip against Chelsea and all that kind of stuff. And especially after saying we don't let this slip and all this kind of thing, you know what I mean? I'm sure he still wakes up in the middle of the night fucking in sweats thinking about that and stuff like that and all. And I just don't want to ever have to come on here and go, fucking bin that Steven Gerrard lad out of the club kind of thing. It just wouldn't sit well with me at all. So if it was a case that something happened and, we had to bring him in on an interim basis for a few games or whatever it is. Now listen, if this goes skew-ways in the second half and it's Slot out and it's time for Slot to go, listen, I won't be too upset on Monday night if I go over to the Barnsley FA Cup game and Stevie G's in the dugout. I'm not going to be too upset with that. I would be very upset if Stevie G's in the dugout come fucking July for pre-season. That for me would be a real problem. So I don't want that. And this is not me saying I don't want Stevie to ever not manage Liverpool. I think the profile needs to be built a bit more, and I think he needs to develop a lot more. Like I could see Stevie managing us maybe in a decade, but I'd want him to manage us in such a way that, like, you know what I mean, that it's a fair shot on, not an interim thing and that kind of stuff. Now listen, he carry a hell of a lot of respect and stuff like that as well. You know what I mean? It's those teams, Robbie and all, and Stevie and Darren, Torres at the time. Remember how good like you go back. I go back and I look at a lot of old Premier League football, and I see the likes of when you go back and you look at the likes of John Terry and Rio and Stevie and Cara and all these different players and stuff like that, and the midfields that were in there at the times. You look at the Bollocks of this world and stuff like that, and the way they played. They were just sensational now. Now you look at the way teams play at the moment, and like it's mad the changing of the guard in the Premier League as well, because you look at the Premier League now, I don't think I've sat on a single match preview this season. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks, if you watched them all. But I don't think I've put a single match preview out yet where I said, this is a handy day at the office. This is 3 points and all that kind of stuff. And you remember years ago in the in the Prem. Obviously you'd have those kind of 6-pointer kind of things, United and Liverpool and United and Arsenal and, some of the tough games, Chelsea and stuff like that as well. They would be the tough games. But the other games, you'd be looking at them and you'd be going, Swindon, right, 3 points. Swansea, 3 points. You'd be looking at those. You don't do that anymore in the Premier League. Tell me the last time, folks, you did that. Tell me the last time as Liverpool fans in the chat here, you've sat back and you go, see that? 3 points. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen now. There's been a real evening now, and because of the broadcasting rights money and the sponsorship and all that kind of stuff, I think there's been a huge changing of the guard in that, insofar as like a lot of teams now have a lot of money. Like you just look at the job Sunderland have done. Sunderland went out and they spent 190 million, close on 200 million, to speculate, and look at how good they're doing. Look at Brentford under Keith Andrews. And we sat on this podcast, go back and look at our Premier League predictions back in the show we did in August, I think it was, or July, when we looked at it. I think Darren said technically it could be very good, that technically he's very sound. But I think most of us on it were saying this could be a real struggle, you know what I mean? They were losing key players. Keith Andrews was stepping up and stuff like that. What a phenomenal job that guy has done now, you know what I mean? So you just never know. But I'm looking at this Premier League now and I'm thinking, like, even if you're traveling out for a game and you're paying a lot of money, because obviously when we go over the games, they're really expensive and stuff like that. You're looking for a game sometimes that's nearly kind of nailed on a little bit. So you'd love to go to one of the big games, but they're too expensive. So you're looking for a game, you know what I mean? I went over with Darren 2 years ago. We went to the Crystal Palace game. They absolutely played us off the park. On Anfield. It was shocking. Mo Salah never got a sniff. The Benitez years. But it's just, you know what I mean? It's just, you look at those, like, all these, where we used to win, and like teams don't really blow teams away anymore, you know what I mean? Like how good, look at an advertisement for the Premier League there last night. Look at that Newcastle versus Leeds game. What a phenomenal game that was now. That was absolutely electric. That, to me, when I looked at that game, was a real throwback to 90s Premier League action and stuff like that. Just an absolute ding-dong battle with a dagger right at the end of it. That's how matches used to be and stuff like that and all, But yeah, I don't know. I just think this league has become so competitive now. And obviously it's a tip the hat as well, because obviously the coaching, sports science and everything that has happened has just become different gravy, really, hasn't it? It's just become different gravy, and it just looks absolutely phenomenal. Because every club now has state-of-the-art facilities. Every club now has very, very high-level coaching. Every club has really, really good scouting as well. And it's really a case of desire, really, you know what I mean? When you look at teams like certain teams that don't spend the money and don't speculate, it's because they're just withholding the money, because the money's so huge, whatever it is, 180 million, 200 million, whatever it is they get. That money is massive to some clubs. And they're just being prudent, basically. Whereas you have clubs like Sunderland with a fantastic fan base, great stadium, massive following, absolutely amazing. They want to be in the Premier League. There's teams out there who will spend money. Forest, who spent a lot of money, under Cooper and stuff like that as well. They want to be in the Premier League. Then there's other teams that come up, like the Norwiches of this world and stuff like that, who just will not spend a washer, and just want to grab the bag, do whatever they do in the year, go through the motions, and just like, and just, go back down, bring the 180 million with them, see you later, come up another year, get found out, go back down with the bag again and stuff like that. But there's teams out there that I look at. I look at Leeds and Ellen Road and I think that's Premier League. I look at Sunderland Stadium and I like that. I think that's Premier League. The other one I look at as well is Middlesbrough in the Riverside. And I look at that and I think that's Premier League. You know what I mean? Just ones. I suppose they're ones that we grew up on as well when we were watching the Premier League in the early days. These are the teams that played in and stuff like that. And that's no disrespect, because I still liked when Luton came in and stuff like that and all. And but it just seems I like teams that try and roll the dice and speculate to try and stay in the league and want to be competitive. I would love to see Sunderland get a European spot. I would love it. It'd be just brilliant. So that's my twopence. That's my twopence worth on it. What's this? Hey, I wouldn't be bashing Benitez. He gave us a Champions League. I love me some Benitez. He gave me Fernando Torres, one of my favourites. Yeah, that was Dave, that message. That was for Dave, that message. Um, I don't think he was bashing him. I think he was talking more about the time frame and stuff like that. I wasn't bashing him. It was the last time I looked at a fixture and thought, there's 3 points. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you know what I mean? Now you're looking at them and you're going, if you get 3 points over here, be doing well. And you could say, like, even when you go to play, even like as bad as Wolves have been this season, and they're showing a little bit of recovery now, but as bad as Wolves have been this season, you know, they've been very unlucky as well in some games and stuff like that. There's games where they should have got a point, and even games from being 2-0 down to come back and nearly winning a game to go on and lose it and stuff like that and all, you know what I mean? So it's like, there's just nothing easy there, you know what I mean? Yeah, spot on, Dave. Keith, I loved 90s Wimbledon team. Did you? Did you? I always thought it was horrible. Myself now. Yeah. Luton was brilliant, haha. Walking through people's gaffs to get the RC. Yeah, it was mad, wasn't it? Trying to turn the bus and all, and you're going through the turnstiles, like, and you just have you have a row of terrace houses, maybe a shop in the middle of it, and then you're walking through the turnstiles to go in. Yeah, no, those old school stadiums are cool as well, but I just think structurally there's some teams that are more structured in order to be in the Premier League and stuff like that. There's certain teams I look at, like I said, Sunderland, Leeds, teams like that, Middlesbrough. I look at them and I think of them as being Premier League teams. There you go. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, absolutely. What are we thinking here for the second half, folks? Are we looking at Liverpool kind of more of the same? Is that what we're thinking? Or are we thinking something different? I think we're probably thinking more of the same, aren't we? Let us know your thoughts as well. Are we looking at any upsets? Are we looking at any upsets this weekend in the FA Cup? I think it's going to be very interesting to see, actually. I'm interested to see on Monday what team he puts out. Because we seem we're down to the bare bones as it is. So can he even rotate at this stage? We're down to such bare bones. I don't know. I think he'll have to play a pretty strong team. And I wonder, has he learned from the Plymouth game as well? He mightn't get away with that at Anfield either as well, assuming you're going to be in charge. But yeah, you mightn't get away with that on Anfield as well. They'd have an expectation there, FA Cup, and it is. I truly believe it's our last chance at a piece of silverware, the FA Cup. I think there's just too many good teams in the Champions League for us to get over that hill, even with a favourable draw through a couple of rounds, stuff like that. Eventually, you're going to run into a quality side, and you're going to have a problem. So I don't think that. I think for us this season, I think we're looking at, as shit as it sounds, as defending champions and stuff like that, I think we're looking at potentially a top 4 and maybe a decent run in the FA Cup. Imagine if Millwall excuse me, yeah. Oh man. Yeah, Millwall would be insane. Wouldn't it be insane? What's even scarier is imagine giving a club like Millwall 190 million. That would be even crazier. I wonder what Millwall would do. What do you reckon Millwall would do? Would Millwall speculate and spend the money? Or would they just be coming up for the old argy-bargy? I don't know. Do you know what would be a cool one, I wonder? Wrexham. I wonder how Wrexham would fare out, obviously, with the excuse me, the drive with the 2 boys and all. I wonder how that would fare out. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I would imagine. So yeah. No sign of Darren yet, but he's supposed to be coming on. So Chelsea, Millwall, good lord, yeah. Well, you could go with any of the London clubs in Millwall. I think he needs to play the kids for Monday. What kids, Keith? We do need to rest some of the players. I don't know. I think it's a real. I don't know whether he can do that or not, Keith. This is what he did against Plymouth, and I think if he does that, I think the heat would be insane. And listen, I wouldn't be surprised. Just have a message here from Darren, folks. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, I'll just have to send a link to a different email here for Darren. Apparently, he can't get on. Don't know, he can't just email it to himself, to be honest. Just 1 second here now. Forward to always one. So 1 second, I'll just get rid of all these updates so I can get it back on. Now, there we go. Right, we kicked off again, folks. 45-28. Darren should be on shortly now. I just emailed that off to him. Yeah, Chelsea Millwall, Dave. Good Lord. Imagine. Yeah. If Millwall had 109 million, they would buy a load of Vinnie Jones players. I don't know. See, Keith, how does that work? You know, the other thing that would be a major problem as well. I don't know, and I haven't watched a lot of Millwall either. But I wonder, would they have a problem coming up into that VAR situation? Would there be players just getting sent off week in, week out? Violent conduct and all that kind of stuff. Now, I don't know. I haven't watched much of Millwall. You know, are we judging them badly based on the fan base again? Fair's diving again. Acers are saying. Yeah, wouldn't be great now. Arsenal sitting a little bit deep here. Liverpool playing the ball around. Very patient game, isn't it? Very, very patient game. Very patient. Hopefully Darren will be with us shortly, folks. So I emailed over to the other email address, so you should be able to pick the link up there. Ball out on the right hand side with Frimpong. The only thing about our play is just, it's a little bit predictable, isn't it? Nah, so you're not going to get out in there. You're looking for it. What's Gabriel doing here? Like, why get into that? There's no need to get into that. Listen, you're not getting that Ferrets anyway. You don't get them in the Prem. I mean, lovely dribbling and stuff like that, but instead of dribbling that last time, why don't you fucking let it fly? There's where you should be letting it fly. You know what I mean? You ran into your man's shoulder. Like, you're not getting anything there. You know, the ball is gone as well. Whatever about if you're in possession. Yeah, I do as well. Acers. I like following Wrexham a little bit, do you? Ekatike should be back. Yeah, I know he was. I know from what I heard, Katie, he was close to coming back. I heard he was close to coming back, and I think there was a bit of a. I think Slot was kind of favouring. From what I read now, this is only what I read, so it could be wrong. But I think Slot was favouring maybe rolling the dice on him. And I think the hierarchy turned around and said no, obviously with the Ekatike thing. There's Darren coming in now, so
Good evening.
how are we? Just
I'm
put my
not too
headphones on
bad.
here.
My
How,
apologies.
yeah, no hassle. No hassle at all, pal.
Seem to be having a technical issue. I charged the earphones because they're beside me on the bed here, and I charged the iPad,
Mm.
and the iPad battery is dead, even though I have it on charge since I left the house at 11 o'clock this morning.
I sometimes get that as well. Sometimes I'll charge the laptop here and it'll
Mhm.
be on charge all day. And when I'll come home, they'll say there's a battery error and it hasn't charged.
That's
Sometimes it
bizarre,
just
isn't
gets,
it?
yeah, do you know, sometimes what it is if you don't use the battery enough and recycle it, it kind of goes a little bit dead if it's just on charge all the time. So I don't know. It might be something stupid like that.
I haven't seen the incident that's just happened, but I believe should there have been a penalty?
With the Verts dribble,
I don't know. I
if
haven't
if
seen
it's
the incident.
if it's if it's the Verts dribble, I would say no. I'm in the 50th minute here now. I'm 49. I'm just gone 50 minutes
I
there now.
believe it's something Konate's done.
Oh, a penalty for Arsenal.
Maybe.
Okay, I haven't seen any of this yet. I haven't seen any of that yet. So,
I think somebody just said if that's inside the box, that's a penalty.
be coming up here now in a second, I'd say.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Now,
Because in fairness, first half we've been very solid. Like haven't done a whole lot wrong really. Yeah, there's
first
talk Aces
half.
Albafemi to the Raw roster. Right? Go Buzz.
Oh, that could be
Hi Joanne,
interesting,
how are
couldn't
you?
it?
Hope you're good. Yeah. I would have thought with the Cody situation that they'd be
That could
pushing
be
to
interesting,
SmackDown.
couldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Although their history of handling those type of big black dudes on the roster as well hasn't been great, has it?
Oh, hit it. Oh. Here's or in general, WWE.
No, I mean in general, when you look at the likes of Bobby Lashley and Apollo Crews, and I suppose the only one they handled properly and unfortunately got injured probably was Big E, wasn't it?
And like, I think you could make a case to say they didn't handle Big E amazingly either.
No, well, towards the end, I think when they tried to turn him heel, I think it was a bit stupid because he's like so loved.
Yeah.
But then you look down through the years, look at Ron Simmons, Ahmed Johnson, any of these big guys, they haven't handled them well at all. Yeah, Joanne's just wanting the goal, Just make sure, Darren, if you are watching it, that you're synced up with me, that you don't, you're not just too much
I'll
ahead of
tell
me.
you when I am. I'm 53 and 40 seconds.
Yeah, you're way ahead of me then. I'm 52 minutes now.
Okay.
So just in case.
That's okay. Yeah. I'll go dumb silent if that happens.
Yeah, justice. Well, I'll tell by your face anyway. Justice for Ahmed Johnson.
Dave, I agree with you. I have to say, the El Pearl River Powerhouse, I was a huge fan of Ahmed Johnson back 94, 95, stuff like that. When
What
he
a
was on
monster
Raw.
of a man as well. Monster of a man.
What a monster. Fallen on some hard times as well over the years.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Had a couple of bad car accidents and things like that. But like at one stage, he was definitely when we were. Nah, you're all right. Don't forget, I've already gone past that, so there's nothing on. There's when we got the Survivor series at that stage, he looked like he was going to be the next big thing.
You can't. By the way, you can't taper my excitement. I'm just excited that I'm in the Arsenal half here.
I watched the first half downstairs,
Yeah.
because I got home from work at about 8:10, so the game had just kicked off, and I got home, and I was like, the brother-in-law was downstairs. He was watching the game. He's a big Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this a game of attack versus defense? What am I watching here? It was like a training session, wasn't it?
Yeah. We had
The
two
only thing
banks
I
in
was
there and we were
shocked
sitting there.
about was that, well, I spoke about this earlier, right? With you on the phone. And I said, surely you go in with a couple of banks And if you can nick something,
Yeah,
from a set piece, that's the only way you're getting out of there with
yeah.
no recognised striker and no real, goal scoring threat, so to speak.
And that
Uh,
would be a huge disappointment for Arsenal, who have a massive opportunity tonight with obviously last night's results and all. Like,
Absolutely.
mm,
And I have to say that they played some good football in the first half, Arsenal. It
yeah,
just wasn't the cherry on top. I thought
yeah,
Bukayo Saka was unbelievable in the first half.
mm,
I know, listen, I know Kirkez has had a difficult first season at Liverpool, um, but in the first half, Saka was absolutely unbelievable. He had Kirkez on toast. He really
yeah,
did.
yeah.
Um,
Especially in the latter stages. I think with Kirk,
yeah,
I think the problem with Saka as well, and for me and you probably who are a bit older and stuff like that, if I'm marking Saka in a game, I'm coming off him a little bit. I'm not marking him touch tight. I think it's very dangerous to mark him touch tight.
well, he's so quick with
Yeah,
those little a little step, a drop of the shoulder,
yeah,
and he's away from you. So you do need to make sure you keep him in front of you. You keep the hands, where you can see him and stuff like that. Because as soon as he gets level with you or gets
yeah.
in behind you,
Mm,
you're gonna
mm.
struggle. That Aethers, that would be a phenomenal piece of booking. Because if you could put an Obafemi in there with a Brock Lesnar and get him to beat Lesnar and legitify this guy, you elevate him up to that top tier straight away.
And they're talking about it as well as being, is it still Lesnar's retirement they're pitching? Because it's in Minnesota, isn't it? SummerSlam.
Um, oh,
Isn't
I
that
thought
the
they were doing
talk?
Mania.
No, Mania is AJ Styles, isn't it? Apparently, I heard.
Mm. And are we getting Gunter and AJ that far away? Is that how that's going to go? Break out till then, or
That's the talk, and then the talk was you were going to get Gunter Brock as well. That this is because if
I don't
yeah,
think we're going to get Gunter Brock, are we?
I think once we get to SummerSlam at that stage, the appetite for this Gunter legend killer type situation is going to be like weighing out, wouldn't it? At this stage. Brendan saying he did an interview with Ahmed Johnson on the old radio show back in '06. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, he seems a gent as well, doesn't he? Like he's a good
Well,
interview as
actually,
well.
I
And
was going to jump in there and say he hasn't got a great name.
yeah, but I think Morris had him on as well. I think, and he had a very good interview with Morris as well, as far as I know.
I believe he can be quite a difficult customer, and indeed he upsets quite a lot of people with some of his views and what he says.
Yeah. Well, that's okay, but they're his own personal takes and stuff like that. But
Of
you get a
course
lot of
they are.
people, you get a lot of people out there as well who'd be interviewing him to trigger him as well, you know.
Now,
Waldorf
Niall,
versus Buck, WrestleMania 42.
I don't
Mm.
really watch podcasts or listen to
Yeah,
podcasts other than ourselves, and the wrestling one, obviously.
yeah.
I'm not a big fan. However, I listened to a full podcast today.
Which one was it?
It was the Stick to Soccer because it was only released today. It's the one with Henrik Larsson.
Oh,
And
very good. I must catch that. I haven't seen it yet, so yeah,
it was what a horizontally chilled out kind of guy.
yeah, yeah,
Really good interview. It was a lovely episode.
yeah.
I listened to it in the car, and I was like, at one stage, I was like, I could fall asleep here. This is like ASMR. It's so just relaxed
Mm,
and
yeah.
um,
Well,
really, really good.
he played football that way as well. He
He
was
did.
very, very good. It wasn't a very. He was so skillful and such a laid
It
back,
was
but
a
he had such a great
relaxed
vision on the pitch.
language
Like,
sort of.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You never seen him kind of erratic or irate or anything like that. It was always very silky, wasn't it?
They spoke to him because obviously, he went from Feyenoord to Celtic, and then they stopped Rangers doing that 10 in the row thing, and
Mm,
then he decided he was leaving, and he ended up at Barcelona, and then he went back to Helsingborg where he'd started, and then one of the managers at Helsingborg was an English guy, and United got onto him and said, "Listen, could you do a job for us while the Swedish season
yeah,
is over?" And he came back and whatever, and United asked him to stay at the end of the season, and he wouldn't do it because he promised Helsingborg he'd come back when
all
it was
into
the
the
league
fuck.
time and whatever. But just it was lovely, and he tells some
Mm,
great stories and stuff like that, and a couple of them, when he's talking about Martin O'Neill and stuff like that, and he's just like,
mm,
he said you find it very difficult to fall out with Martin O'Neill. He
Yeah.
said, yeah. Very. I agree, Bren. And I'm not a Celtic fan, Bren, at all. In fact, I'd
I
go
seen
as
him for
far
the
to
set.
say,
I seen
if
him
they
playing
were
for this.
playing in the
Yeah.
back garden, I'd close the fucking curtains, Bren.
And how Celtic would love a Henrik Larsson right now. I seen
I
him
think
play for the Celtic Legends down at Bray Wanderers in the Carlisle grounds. And you know something? You've never seen a guy of his age that physically looks so fit as well and actually still look like a baller. He looks
so.
every bit of a baller still.
Actually, his mobility isn't amazing at the minute.
He is, Dave. He is.
And
Our boy Morris.
Righty said to him, Righty says to him, "Oh, how's things?" And bloody. He says, "Yeah, I'm okay," because Righty's just had his knees done,
Yeah.
or one of his knees done, and he said, Larson said, "My hips are really bad." He said, "My hips aren't great." He said, "We'll have to look at that in the next few years or whatever." So he said,
Yeah.
"Mobility isn't amazing." He said, "I don't do anything in the gym or anything like that." He said, "I
Yeah.
play a bit of golf," and he said, "I play a bit of paddle," and he said, "That's kind of all I do." He said, "I play the paddle because it's a smaller court than the tennis," and he said, "I
Yeah.
can't get round the tennis court."
Yeah. So you can stand and you can play. You can feed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and that was obviously a bit sad to hear. But like, he is in his 50s as well. Don't forget. So like, stuff just
Yeah.
starts to
Yeah.
freak
Absolutely.
a little bit.
Yeah. And of course, Kevin Keegan as well being diagnosed with cancer. So obviously, we send our thoughts out to and support to Kevin and his family and all as well. We mentioned it earlier. What a footballer.
Absolutely. What
What a
and you know
footballer.
what? What a footballer and what a
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a problem with anybody who wears their heart on their sleeve.
No.
And that's what Kevin Keegan did, and people, United fans love to mock it and give it the old, I would love it if we beat them, right? But don't forget,
Yeah.
if he'd have been our manager, we'd have been all over that like white on
Oh,
rice.
100%.
All over it. That's how you want your manager to carry themselves, to behave and stuff like that. So, nothing but love for Kev.
I often
Um,
say, like, the way Pep sometimes talk about how Jurgen pushed him to that level.
yeah,
I often say in those Premier League years that it was the likes of Kevin Keegan and Wenger and all that pushed Vergi to achieve those levels at
absolutely,
times and all. So,
absolutely.
and the
I
game is
you,
really
you've
missing those kind of
you've
characters, isn't it?
heard
Really,
me
when you think about
you've
it.
heard me say a number of times. When United fans say, "I hate Liverpool," and Liverpool fans say, "I hate United," I'm like, I don't know how you hate your biggest rival. Because other than for Liverpool, we wouldn't be Man United, and vice
Yeah,
versa. We rose up out of those ashes from the disasters that our clubs had to beat each other. We were the top dogs. You guys wanted to beat us. You were the top dogs. We wanted to beat you, and that was what brought us
mm.
to the dance and got us to that level. So there can be, certainly for me, there can be no hate in that. That's
I
bizarre for
bet
me.
I bet the side you there, City signed Semenyo 6-year deal apparently, but I have to say, have you ever seen a player giving his club a better send off as
Super,
last
wasn't it?
night? It was just
I,
written, wasn't it? It was
well,
just
it
written.
was, but I don't know whether you've seen this, if you've been keeping up with this.
Yeah,
Um, he's a quirky sort of character, Antoine Semenyo.
yeah.
We got baptized there on New Year's Day.
I
Did you know that?
seen something like that. All right, yeah, yeah,
So he's attending a church and he's just been baptized or rebaptized on New Year's Day in the cold water out in Bournemouth. It looked freezing, and your man had the head under the water in the whole shoot match. But he had the pastor on the sideline in the last few weeks, just having a little chat to him and about where he's trying to go in life and blah de blah. And I was just like, "Do you know what? Isn't it great that
Chip,
we have a guy in this position, right?" Because we talk about footballers all the time and the privileged position they're in and stuff like that. And he seems very, very aware that he has, a certain amount of responsibility as a footballer,
yeah,
and a way to live his life and stuff like that, which is great for, the likes of the kids
mm.
that are watching it and stuff like that. And I just thought, sometimes nice guys finish last. But
yeah,
last night was just one of those nights when,
yeah. Sometimes
the
the good
su- the
guys win.
the yeah, the sun shone the right way, didn't it? and for him to get, and
Yeah,
have you ever seen, don't forget, this lad's getting up to leave the dressing room. Have you ever seen lads as happy in your life for that guy?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
the winner. Absolutely.
Mm,
But what was more important was the boys that were on the pitch with him wanted him to get the send off that he deserved
yeah.
because of the person he'd been in the dressing room with those lads and stuff like that. It was brilliant. It really was. I really enjoyed it now.
Trossard and Yerke is coming off for Martinelli and Jesus. So we have Arteta here rolling the dice.
I'm playing a good poker face here, am I?
Yeah, yeah. What can I do?
Has
What can I do?
Frimpong gone down the right hand side yet?
He has. Well, I'm on 64-20. So maybe he
Yeah,
hasn't yet, has he?
and he might only be just coming there now.
Yeah.
Did you see?
There, so
Or
looking at it, here it is now. Here it is now. Oh, Jesus. Arsenal did the same thing first half. Everyone was crashing the 6 yard and gone by it. So when the ball was pulled back, there was no one
there was
arriving
no
into
one
the
there.
box late.
Oh, I
No one
gotta
arriving in the box
say,
late, yeah.
I think he's got to hit that across the keeper.
I'm smashing that, especially in those conditions.
I am smashing that across the front of the keeper
Yeah.
and hoping that he coughs up a spillage and somebody on one of the lads on the
And
6 yard line
I,
is coming in to mop it up.
and you wouldn't mind, he'd so much time as well to pick a player out. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
so that's what's this point as well. But Liverpool seem to have come into this game big time this half.
yeah. They've certainly come alive a bit more.
Yeah.
No, you're not getting a penalty for that, I'm afraid. You are not getting a penalty for that. They're not looking at it, are they?
As Mrs. Doyle would say, go on, go on, go on.
Oh, there's no way they're looking at that.
They've been looking at a number of things tonight, in fairness.
They're not looking at it. Thank God. I don't think they're looking at it. Jesus Christ, man. Although,
That's the one thing I said earlier in the game. I don't want this to hinge on a referee or a VAR or something. I want it to be
did
a good game between both teams, you know.
did you watch any of United last night?
I have to say, as much as the result and stuff like that, I thought you were really good. I said it earlier actually in the podcast. I said if Fletcher had been brave enough to give Fernandez another 5 minutes, it could have been a different game. Could have
Yeah,
been a
so he
different game.
he actually spoke about it before the match started,
Yeah,
and he said him and Mount were on restricted minutes. So that's predetermined
yeah.
before kickoff, and you know
But then
it
again,
kind of out.
you have to let the game unfold as well, and maybe on your feet make a
Well,
little bit of a judgment.
it would have been predetermined with the medical staff beforehand
Yeah.
that listen, the absolute max we get out of this lad tonight is an hour, and like
Mm.
basically he got to the hour and he tapped out, and they went
Uh,
right, we
How
take him now.
how happy were you to see him in the 10 again? He was very good.
Well, so we came upstairs to watch it last night,
Yeah,
and the one thing I said, Brody sat beside me here in the bed, and I said, it'll be really interesting to see Bruno now feed Sesko. And of
yeah,
course, first goal, Bruno, feed Sesko,
yeah.
goal. And I was
Two
like,
two lovely goals as well. Two lovely touches.
two real good
Yeah,
finishes and two one-touch finishes,
yeah.
really, really good. And for the player that wasn't high on confidence,
Mm,
and he took the two goals really well. And on to the next one again. I tell you what I didn't love. Tell you what I didn't love. I know exactly why he did it,
yeah,
but I didn't love him playing Dorgu on the left and Cunha on the right. Cunha is right-footed, yeah,
mm,
and Dorgu is left-footed, yeah,
yeah,
which meant they always had to go outside. Now, if we look at the second goal, Dorgu goes down the left, whips the ball across the box, and Sesko is there to put it away first
yeah.
time, right? But it meant we couldn't invert. And you then didn't have Dorgu coming inside to get it onto his left foot to get the shots off. And you didn't have Dallo going on the other side of him as the fullback, and we didn't get Shaw and Cunha doing the same on the other side.
Yeah.
And I think Cunha didn't enjoy it. He didn't look like a guy
He
who
looked like
enjoyed.
he looked like a guy who was playing very frustrated.
Yes,
Very,
and I think
but
that was
he's been
down to the position.
he's looked like that for a few weeks. In fairness,
I wouldn't have said that. I thought last night, particularly at Sean,
yeah,
because, and again, it's the first time he played in that position. He generally plays as the left side of number 10. So when he picks
yeah,
it up, he floats in and he can get something off on his right foot. He was very limited. And I think he understood last night that his job wasn't necessarily to score, it was to create chances for the
mm,
big lad in the middle. And I
yeah.
don't know if he loved that.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
So
He
we've
always
got to
feel you always feel with him. He kind of wants to shine a little bit, doesn't he?
absolutely, he wants to be the
Yeah,
star,
and
100%.
that's okay. That's okay.
Absolutely. Now, here's
Yeah.
the other thing. I think that'll settle down a bit when
Jesus,
Mbumo comes back, because don't forget, you'll
that
have a
was
bit of
nasty enough
balance
there, wasn't it,
on
on Kirkus?
a little bit.
Yeah, it's very high up into the rib cage, like.
It's a reach. It's not like a tackle.
Yeah,
He's trying to reach across.
yeah,
There's minimal
aggression.
aggression. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
It's more awkward than anything else. But I think when Mbumo comes back and you have Mbumo on the right and Kearney on the left and Sesko at 9 and Bruno at 10, that's when you'll see it start to hum. But that's when you also need the fullbacks that can go on the outside. So if you have Dorgu on the left hand side at left back, you've
Mm,
Kearney to come in one way, you've Dorgu to go out the other, you've Mbumo to come in one side, you've Ahmad to go out the other, and then do you know what I mean? You've
yeah,
Fernandez at 10, you've Sesko at 9. That's when it could home. That's really when it could
yeah.
home.
What have you made? What have you made of all the managerial stuff going on at the moment? Across the board, not just United. Obviously, Maresca gone, a guy here
Yeah.
we like, don't we? We're Maresca fans, aren't we? I would say.
Listen, I don't think Maresca's done a whole lot wrong.
Mm.
Won that championship with Leicester, won the Conference League for Chelsea, won the World
Especially
Club
what you
Cup
heard,
for Chelsea.
especially what you heard coming out that like the lads were dictating the minutes and the subs and all, and everyone was pinning that on Maresca.
Yeah.
So
So, like,
he's come out
well,
of it looking pretty good, hasn't he, at this stage?
yeah, like I don't hold anything against Maresca. I really don't. And the one thing I
Mm.
will say is, um, there's a lot of good managers gone in to Chelsea and been shown the door. So in that sense, it's not necessarily a black mark against his name for me.
I seen a graphic today, right? And I think it was either 5 or 6 Chelsea managers who have all been sacked after landing 2 trophies, 2 pieces of silverware. I think there's either 5 or 6 of them. It's insane.
It is
Di
when you
Matteo
think of
was
the
one of them,
amount
remember?
of it is when
Yeah.
you think of the amount of clubs who'd kill for 2 pieces of silverware.
Yeah, look, you look at Newcastle. You know what I mean? So,
Eddie Howe got
yeah.
one. I tell you what, Eddie Howe was looking a bit iffy last night
Yeah.
until about the 102nd minute when Harvey Barnes popped up with a winner.
I
He gets
said
that.
earlier, it was a real throwback game to 90s Prem, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was cool, yeah, really cool. As a
I
neutral, it's a game like
did.
that as a neutral is great to watch.
Would you believe? I played that predictions competition. Yeah,
Yeah.
I 3-2 Newcastle in predictions, and I finished 4-3. So I get 2 points, but I don't get four.
Yeah.
But I just thought, wow, isn't this? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I went 3-0 tonight. And that isn't looking good either.
No.
Hey Daz, how are you, pal?
I don't know. I don't know where the goal's gonna come from, Daz, at the moment.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a set piece special real late in the game, 85, 86 minutes, something
Playing
like that.
fucking playing football in our own box always bothers me.
I think they're still. I think I'm a little bit disappointed by Arsenal here. Um, I think you guys are there for the taking, just on what you have out on the pitch and how kind of blunt you are.
And that
You know,
opportunity that they've been presented as
yeah,
well.
yeah. And I'd
And they're
like
at
to see
home.
them. Now, this isn't to say they won't nick it and win 1-0 and
Yeah.
everything be rosy, but I think this is an opportunity to lay a marker down, go out and steamroll,
Put the
the
foot
champions from
on our
last
head.
year.
Put the foot
Yeah,
on our
yeah,
head.
yeah. Just round them when they were just round them, and they're not doing it. They're really not. Especially in the second half, they've taken the foot off the pedal massively. Mikel Arteta
We
will not be
frustrated
happy
them a
here.
lot. We frustrated them a lot as well.
You
Although
have, but
I
in
have
the
to say
second half,
Arsenal in the last 10 or 15 minutes also have been very good in games as well at getting the job done. So
yes,
you know, so
in the last in certainly in the second half, like Liverpool have had as good of the chances as Arsenal have.
oh yeah, definitely.
First half was a
Definitely.
very one-sided game. Second half, it's not. Second half, um, Liverpool are in this game an awful lot more for my money.
Way more than what I predicted at all. Anyway, that's for sure.
And they do a lot of basics real well, don't they?
Yeah.
Like they get pressure on the ball. They put the body on the line all the time for the block. They're physical. They run all day. They're not always the prettiest team, but they do find a way. Now listen, it's a big squad they have. They've some serious football out there.
Dave, it's not frustrating for me. As frustrating a draw as you'll get. It's not frustrating for me. We'll take a draw right now, blow the whistle. 100%. Would you Federico ready for Cody or Rio Niall? I don't know whether ball into the box. I don't know.
I'd have the boy Ngamawa on. Because I think if you look so far, especially in the second half, who's been the one player who's looked like he could hurt Arsenal?
Yeah.
Frimpong on the right hand side. Small, nippy, quick with his feet, right? Because some of those Arsenal lads, as good as defenders they are, they're not overly quick.
Yeah, and they don't like being turned either. They're not always great when they're turned.
So I'm getting the boy Ngamawa on the left hand side, and I'm getting him to go at them.
Do you reckon Slot's going to be brave enough to do it?
Well, Arteta's just been brave there. Arteta's just gone. We've got 77 minutes and 50 seconds, and it's a double substitution. This will tell you about the level of depth in the Arsenal squad.
The bench is insane.
He's taken off Saka and Odegaard, and he's brought on Eze and Madueke. That's strength. There's a lot of strength there.
Federico Chiesa is not a starter for Liverpool Football Club. I keep on saying this to people. He's brilliant at coming on for 20 minutes or half an hour when teams are tired. He looks really, really good. He played 90 minutes, or he played 80 odd minutes against Wolves, and he was shocking. Shocking against Wolves. He's not a starter. I don't care if anyone says he's not a starter.
Dare I say, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, is he the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of Liverpool?
Well, he hasn't delivered it. He hasn't. Yeah, he's like that kind of super sub, maybe.
He's that kind of a super sub who comes off the bench, fresh as a daisy, finds a bit of space and exploits it. But don't forget, he spent 65 minutes watching the game, and he's also spent 65 minutes watching lads sap their energy levels, and he's just been very clever with how he's come and picked the bones. That's what he does well. And I'm not slighting him for that. I think you've got to be clever to do that. Because if you look at the amount of times lads come off the bench and don't do enough, having watched from the sidelines to know how the game was going, and having had, fresh legs and not used them.
Odegaard coming off there, Eze coming on, and Madueke. Saka coming off as well. Interesting.
Yeah, Saka and Odegaard.
This will be an interesting test now. Madueke played very well the other day for them as well when he came on. Looked really good.
I'm ahead of you, and he's just had a great run down the right-hand side, got to the byline, and cut it back across the 6-yard box, and nobody there. And he's left Kirkes for dead. It was really good. So it's
that was my fear earlier on in the game. I was saying that the likes of Bradley and Kirkes, we have no option there. They'll have ran their guts out in that weather for 70, 80 minutes. And then Arteta bringing on the likes of Madueke and Martinelli and stuff like that and all, and they'd run us ragged because the boys will be poleaxed. That was my fear, because we have no options on the bench at all, really. Nothing in that area, anyway.
Joe Gomez not there?
You're not bringing Joe Gomez into this game, I wouldn't think, unless you're trying to wind down time.
Yeah, or unless...
And you're not putting Joe Gomez on as a counteract to Madueke or Martinelli. I think they'd skin him. I think they'd skin him alive.
Yeah, but if one of the two fullbacks had been booked, you may have had to bring him on to try and balance an act. You know what I mean?
Maybe Robertson's probably on the bench, is he?
I'm not sure. Have you seen two worse sending offs than last night, by the way?
The hair pull and the Grealish one.
Yeah, they're shocking. They're absolutely shocking. Like, that's really dreadful.
I think the hair pull one was a really. I think he could have looked at it. You know what I mean? It was they were both tough as well, but they were saying, was it Grealish? He's seen 3 red cards now, and the 3 red cards have all been from dissent. So maybe some people just don't learn, you know.
Ooh. Oh. That was close.
Robbo's on the bench, I suppose. You know, maybe that could be. But again, I don't know. He's been a bit hesitant recently to use Robbo, hasn't he? I don't know whether he's carrying an injury or whether, like, we've three goalkeepers named on the squad today. Like, it's insane.
Is it Woodman, Marmanashvili, and
Allison? Yeah,
and Allison.
And that's just to actually pad out a squad page, like.
Yeah.
You know, man. Like, you'd want to be very unlucky to need 3 keepers.
Why is he not giving it free there? That's terrible. Hopefully you look back and see this in a minute. Dominic Szoboszlai gets the ball.
Is this similar to the Anfield one now? He's standing over a free kick here now at the moment. 81 minutes gone.
That was the one he went close with.
Yeah.
The real decent strike just doesn't dip early enough, but he struck it quite well.
I did. I'm really looking forward to that when Aces, that Cody Rhodes interview with Baller should be really good. He was winning the Rumble, Darren.
Good question. Looked that well.
Yeah.
Who's winning the Rumble? That's a great question, man.
God, he was unlucky with that. That wasn't a million miles away.
Well, it's not John Cena, right?
No. Well, we presume it's not.
And you know what? You know who might end up being a pick?
There's your tag partner from last night. My Jesus.
Ted, I love you, pal. I love you, brother. Who's winning it? Yeah, Braun Breaker's winning it, isn't he?
You think, yeah? That's who you're pinning it on, eh?
Yeah, I think we're going to get Breaker. The only other person I think we could possibly get is, oh my God, what are you doing? I think Cody's going to drop the belt
tomorrow.
Yeah,
deadly. We're doing a watch along for it, by the way.
I think Cody's going to drop.
It's on at 8 o'clock.
Who was that for?
What time does the show start tomorrow?
I think
we'll be on around 7:30ish or so, but I think it kicks off at 8 o'clock. From what I gather.
Just booked one of the Liverpool coaches, Sipke Hofkov or something. I don't know. Some Dutch lad by the looks of him. And I think Braun might win the Rumble, but we may end up going down the Cody Rhodes route for the Rumble
Mm.
because obviously I think Drew takes the belt off him.
Mm. What are you thinking?
Think he does.
Thoughts on the FA Cup? What are you thinking at the moment? Some nice toys in there, isn't there? Spurs and Aston Villa. Would you be worried about Thomas Frank with his Arsenal Coffee Cup?
Think someone stitched him up badly, didn't they?
Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely. I think so.
Like,
But they made
yeah,
an
yeah.
awful meal of it as well, though, didn't they?
Of course they did. But think of where he is, right?
Yeah.
Where is he? He's in Bournemouth.
Mm.
So why, pardon my French, why the fuck would there have been an Arsenal Cup there?
They just played. They were the away team the last
This is
game.
right. So this is my thing. So
Yeah,
somebody has stitched them up and obviously said to him, Gaffer, there's a cup. And they've been, because listen, don't forget, them dressing rooms are clean top to bottom
yeah,
when the away team leaves, right? So somebody, whether it's, and it might have been one of the Bournemouth staff, yeah, decided I'm going to leave these cups here in the hope that Frank
yeah,
walks out on the pitch with one of these in his
yeah,
hand,
yeah,
and he took the bait. But he's been stitched up for my liking, I have to say.
yeah.
But
I don't think he's that guy either. Sure, he's not because he's enough on his play because he's teetering on the edge at
but
the moment.
why? Like, listen, what what big deal is it to drink out of a paper cup with someone's logo on it? Really, like,
Well, when you're kind of wanting a manager to go,
oh,
and
you
you're
look
just
for any reason.
you're clutching to get someone out the door, kind of thing, you know. So I'd
I
say
don't
it's
know.
more of that than
I don't know if Seth's gonna be ready, Daz, is he?
mm. And I don't think Jericho will win the Rumble. I wouldn't have thought
No, I
so.
wouldn't have thought so now.
Yeah.
No, because he ain't going into the heavyweight title picture, Jericho. Let's be honest here.
And he's certainly not going title match at Mania. He'll go something very important, but it won't be title match.
Do we I don't know what the update is like. Do we end up with a KO and a Sammy in the ring at the end, and Sammy has to get rid of KO to get his Mania match?
Maybe.
KO cleared? Is he, I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't heard that. I'll tell you one thing, and I said it on the podcast last night, or sorry, on Tuesday night. You don't realise how much you miss Seth Rollins, don't you, when he's not there?
This Seth Rollins, who's not one of the best in the world.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's a big game player, our Seth. A big game
Yes.
player.
Yes.
He's phenomenal. And he's carried the company for a couple of years. I know they talk about Cody being the quarterback, but like, every good quarterback needs a good defensive line. And yeah, I don't think so, Ted.
I wouldn't have
I
thought so.
know what you mean, but I don't.
Maybe the
I
following
couldn't
years when
say.
going into Saudi, maybe going into Saudi Mania. I don't think it'll be this year.
Well, is
I
it
think
all stitched up for? Is it all stitched up for Sammy to win it in Saudi? Isn't that what the talk is?
I think they've moved away from that. I think.
Well, they
Um,
had until Sammy dropped his promo last week,
yeah,
which, by the way, was phenomenal.
not a Sammy fan.
I know you're not, but I don't think even you could say it wasn't a great promo.
Yeah. Is it Rumble weekend? No,
No,
Rumble. No, the end of the month or whatever it is. No, this week is they're starting off the road to the Rumble with the tour in Europe. So I think they're in Berlin on Friday for SmackDown and Raws and
Ted.
Dusseldorf on Monday.
I know Ted will be in there as well. Ted, they're in Belfast on the 19th, and there's some tickets available. If you're interested, I will be driving up. So hit me up if you're in need or anything, pal. Yeah,
If you're thinking of making that trip,
I got tickets yesterday, myself and a pal of mine, Gary. Um, we got tickets yesterday, so looking forward to
mm,
that. Now I have to say,
yeah.
got some decent tickets as well, by the looks of it.
Yeah, I was saying to the boys earlier, the boys logged on earlier and they were getting quoted 418. And I said, Darren picked up 2 tickets yesterday, really good price. I said in the first few rows of the risers.
Yeah,
So I said, yeah, he did really well on it. So I said it to the
and
boys. I said,
and,
Morris
and
are
that
giving you
was
the heads up. Like,
That's right. It was Morris
mm,
gave me the heads up, and Morris isn't going himself. It
yeah,
falls on a Monday, and it's a committee meeting in the Kilkenny County Council, so we can't make it. But Morris gave me the heads up, and
mm,
I actually literally got the message off him. And sometimes you just have your phone in your hand. I picked
mm,
it up straight away, read the message or listened to the message, and then I straight away went on and got it, and I got the tickets, so it was great. I was very lucky, I have to say.
Keith, the wrestling show next week is on Tuesday again, but I won't be on, obviously. So I think Bren is taking the hot seat next Tuesday.
Are you
So
not back in time?
No, I'm not flying back till Tuesday evening. I'm flying back Tuesday evening about 5:30 or 6 or whatever it is. So, and you know yourself, flying back and getting back to the gaff and all with the traffic and all, I can't, like.
Yeah.
I'd have no one. Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams in Tornado for Saturday night main event, going to be electric. Big Trick Williams fan, I have to say. Big Trick Williams fan.
Big Lash Legend fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. As Otis would say, oh yeah. Rub my belly.
What are we doing here? What are we injury time? I'm in the 90th minute here, so you're obviously ahead of me.
I'm in 91 and 5 seconds. There's 4 minutes on it, that's all.
It seems low. There wasn't a whole lot in it. The
I
game is
I,
foul.
I do think it's been, it's imploded a
Yeah,
little bit, hasn't
mainly
it?
just subs, isn't it? Yeah, it's ran out kind of like. I'm happy to humble playing this if this ends this way anyway.
I would have thought this was a tremendous result for you lads. Is he giving
especially
that?
especially with that top four situation, you know what I mean? So it's like no one wants it.
It really is.
Talk to me about I wanted to bring up Brentford, obviously, and give you your flowers. Keith Andrews. You must be electric. You must be delighted, yeah?
Listen. Keith's dad worked with my dad in Aircom back in the day. And I remember him going over to the UK and stuff like that. And my dad saying, "Oh, one of the lads out of work is young fellas over in the UK and bloody blah." I think he was at Blackburn at one stage, and he's playing for Blackburn, he's playing for Wolves, and stuff like that. And so we've always kind of followed what Keith done and stuff like that. And then he was involved in the Ireland setup, and I know a couple of lads involved there,
What a save.
and they talk about Keith being a real good lad and being a really good coach and really knowing his stuff. I think something. I think something. Don't think you're right. It was Maxime Dupree that they announced for the meet and greet. Where did you see Stephanie Vicker? Because I'd be absolutely interested in that.
Maybe they're doing both. They normally do a pairing, don't they?
Smiths were doing
Remember the entertainer did Bailey and Bianca and all. They normally do a pairing, especially when they're doing the girls, don't they?
Smiths were doing Maxine Dupree, which I was quite excited about. But if somewhere is doing Bren, let me know who's doing Stephanie Vicker. That could be interesting. And I was trying to say something there. I can't think of what I was saying. But Keith is doing a really good job there, very highly thought of. And I think something he's been really, really clever at is he didn't try and reinvent the wheel at Brentford. He just kept the wheel moving and kept things as smooth as possible. And then
Well,
you've got
you
to
would have
look at.
assumed he was a big part of the foundation anyway under Frank.
He would have been, but guys
Yeah.
can go out and try and stamp their authority on things and change it completely, and then all of a sudden you lose your balance and you lose this and you lose that, and it's just not working. And listen, the form of
So is he
the
saying
form of he
is he saying Stephanie's in the entertainer, and you're
it
saying
must
Maxine is
be.
in Smiths?
Yes. Well, I'm gonna have to contact the entertainer in the morning, so and try and find out how I get tickets. Um, but you're not gonna enjoy this. Connor Bradley's just gone down
Saying that.
very, very awkwardly. And
What's all
and
the pushing?
this
What's the row? What's happening here?
there's quite a big row kicks off here for no apparent reason. And Martinelli is saying something to Bradley.
The whiff of Robert Perez off Martinelli is shocking, isn't it?
That
He's
that
a
that
horrible.
happens, and then after that, now Joe Gomez has just come on in place of Connor Bradley. Bradley has gone off on a stretcher, and he has the jersey over the face. He's clutching his knee. I would say it doesn't look great at first glance. But Keith done great, and of course, when you have somebody and Brentford have a great team and they've a good squad, but they do have a couple of standout players.
What's
And I'm
going
gonna
on here with Rice and Kanate and all? Does Kanate have
there's
a...
lots going on. I'm gonna throw three players at you here because I don't think you'll find anyone better Brentford than Queevy and Kelleher. He's been phenomenal, right? Nathan Collins has been unbelievable as well. And the boy Igor Thiago up front has been
Sensation.
sensational. Absolutely sensational.
What's going on, Martinelli here? He hits him with the ball first. Then he's pushing him off the pitch.
Yeah, there's a
The
lot of
lad's after hurting
shithousery
his
going on
leg,
here.
man.
I
Should be
think the problem
sanctioned, though.
is Arsenal are trying
That
to
should be
play.
reported. What's Jesus doing? This lad hasn't even been on the pitch for nearly a year. What's he doing running in? What's he gonna do?
What are you reporting him for?
Well, that's unsporting conduct, isn't it? If the guy has hurt his knee, like, you know what I mean?
He's trying to roll him off the pitch so Arsenal can play.
Yeah, but if the guy has injured his knee, if he says, what if he's done an ACL or something?
It's not a head injury.
Yeah, but you still don't just roll him off the pitch, like.
He had his arse cheeks on the white touchline. I roll him off and try and play away. Like what I don't have an issue with that. I got to be honest.
It's the Liverpool in me coming through.
That's what I mean. Oh, you're not gonna guess. You're not gonna guess what just happened.
A goal?
No. But how did I say Arsenal were going to win this game?
I don't know.
Last few minutes of the game, and now Arsenal set piece, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, on my television screen, the game has just finished, so it is 0-0. It's over.
Yeah.
However, with the very last kick of the game, Arsenal get a corner, and they swing the ball to the back stick, and Gabriel leaps like a salmon above everybody and heads it on the wrong side of the post wide with the last touch of the game.
That's a huge result for us, and that's like shocking for Arsenal. Yeah, see, here's the corner now. I want to see this corner, actually. Arteta looks really frustrated.
He is ready to jump off a cliff by the looks of him.
Matter way, we just go and take the fucking corner. Like, it's so stupid. What do these guys be at? I'm a Liverpool fan. Like, if I'm an Arsenal fan there, I'm fucking lighting that lad up. Go take the fucking corner, will you?
Slot is walking around like the cat that got the cream here at the end.
Well, that's a huge result for us. Massive. Let's see.
The ball literally hits the side net from the header and he blows it up.
I didn't get near the post, just went out.
No, the wrong side of the post, I said.
Oh, yeah. It came down, actually. He didn't hit it. It came down to hit his knee and went out, actually.
He doesn't make a good contact, because if he makes a better contact, he probably scores.
Yeah.
With his proximity to the goal and stuff. It's a good ball in, by the way.
Yeah. I'd argue that neither team did enough to win.
I think in the first half, when it was like defense versus attack, I think Arsenal did enough to get a goal. You came back in the second half. I think probably on the balance of play, Arsenal will feel like they should have won. But I think, you guys will be happy enough to get out with the point and head back to Anfield and hopefully be able to rest a few boys for Monday night against Barnsley and stuff like that. And just
or hopefully not.
Well, I think you'll have to, because the squad is on its last legs, and if you look at possibly a Bradley injury there as well, are you going to be playing these two African centre backs, the 17 and the 18-year-old?
Explain that to me.
That's a strange one, isn't it?
Explain that to me.
That's a
You know what I mean?
strange one.
We're not signing Semenyo or Gay and we're going shopping. You know, look where we're going shopping. No disrespect to them, but good lord. You know
No,
what I mean?
and like, listen, don't forget, like, all clubs buy at this level because they need to keep their 21s and they need to have stuff pushing. And if they can unearth that diamond for 1 or 2, 3 million, yeah,
Yeah.
look at right now. Look at it the minute, right?
Mm.
We paid 1 million for Aid in Heaven. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you sell him in the morning, what do you get from him?
Wait, no, what 35 or something minimum?
You're getting minimum 40, I think. Like
Yeah,
the kid's 20. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think you're getting minimum 40, possibly 50 or 60, depending on, right?
I don't think it would go that high yet. He's not that proven that far yet. But certainly you're getting 35 to 40 anyway all day.
So that's when you can turn over with PSR the way it is, when
Mm.
you can turn over that type of a profit on a lad you paid £1 million for, that's why they're going to keep pressing the button on these lads. You know,
Yeah, true.
that's because they become no brainers,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and they'll come in on a very minimum sort of wage as well. And,
Yeah,
um, you know,
yeah. What's your thoughts on the FA Cup, especially the obviously Tottenham Villa's a big one. Yourselves are playing Brighton. You're entertaining Brighton. We've got
yeah,
Barnsley. It's
Brighton
probably it's
aren't.
probably probably our last chance at silverware. Would you agree with that, Liverpool? I don't think we're going to do anything in the Champions League. I don't think there's too many good teams now.
Yeah, I would have said it was
Yeah,
it was going to be a struggle.
yeah,
Um, Yeah, listen, I agree with you. I think it is. But again, I think I think the same thing for you as for us. Do I want
yeah,
an FA Cup or do I want to finish top four? Which one?
yeah, yeah. No, I get that. Well,
Like
especially for us after with what we spent anyway, we have to get Champions League.
if
We
if if
can't be bumping
somebody if
Champions League
somebody
money.
offers me an FA Cup or top four, unfortunately, I have to take top four because of what goes along with it.
Yeah,
And not just financially, but also as well the player conversation that you can have. And yes, we are Man United,
mm,
so we will always have a certain pull. But at times, you know, when players are being offered Champions League football, and you can't match that offer,
mm,
that makes the situation difficult.
mm.
I
I, ne- I,
believe.
ne- I nearly love to see the FA Cup winner getting the fifth place coefficient spot. Just to put that bit of impetus back into the tournament and all.
Well, it would certainly, I was going to say, it would certainly reinvigor the
Mm,
tournament. And
yeah.
and from that point of view, I think it would be a massive success.
Mm,
However, I don't know if the league would sanction it because don't forget the FA Cup now is very much, like the Carabao, where it's a private sponsorship kind of a thing.
yeah.
So, you're paying for almost the naming rights, and you're definitely not paying as much as the lads are paying for Premier League. So
Mm,
therefore, they're not going to
yeah.
give that spot. They will give
Mm,
a spot and they'll give something, but
mm,
they're not going to give
yeah.
anything that's gonna,
Mm,
but I would agree with you. I think that reinvigors the FA Cup massively,
mm,
you know.
yeah.
And if I'm a team who like, because there's loads of ways you can do this, right? Let's just say, let's go crazy, right? And let's say that Palace finished fifth in the Premier League, right? Let's say they finished fifth. No,
Yeah.
sorry, let's say Brentford. Let's say Brentford.
Yeah. Brentford, yeah.
Brentford finished fifth in the Premier League.
Mm,
And let's say the four teams in the semi final of the FA Cup are Arsenal, who get a Champions League spot, City, who get a Champions League spot, Villa, who get a Champions League spot, Man United, who don't get a Champions League spot, right? Let's just say.
yeah.
And then you get knocked out in the semis, and it ends up being Arsenal and City in the final, which is the
Mm.
1-2 in the league. Then what you could do is you could go and go, okay, well, which team got the furthest in it?
Oh,
Oh,
the
it was
the
United.
rippling down effect.
It was
Yeah.
United. Okay, well, now United are going to play Brentford in a two-legged playoff for the Champions League spot and spice it up even more.
Yeah, that would be very nice, actually.
You know,
That would be very,
um,
very cool.
yeah,
And
and
in fairness, that gives you like a double chance, doesn't it? It's a real good way of doing it. Like,
I think so, and it keeps
yeah,
everyone interested. There's
yeah,
there's far too much at times. There's far too many dead rubbers in football.
mm,
You
yeah,
know, and I know they've tried to do away with it in the Champions League and stuff like that, and every game matters and blah de blah. But you know it fucking doesn't. Like, let's,
mm,
you know, like
yeah.
some games matter,
No,
big games matter.
a
But,
lot of it, you're picking your battles, aren't you? Yeah, very much so.
well,
Very much so.
when you look at even how squads at times, you know, if I'm looking at, let's say, an Aston Villa, the minute, right, and I'm Aston Villa, and I'm in do Villa have a playoff spot in the Champions League, or they look like they're going to get one. There's 2 games
Mm,
left, right?
yeah,
They look like they're probably going to get a playoff game, but they got
mm.
2 games left after Christmas plus a playoff match. That's 3 Champions League games. They're third in the league. Yeah, they're flying real high. Another good point last night away at Palace. Not an easy place to go, right?
Mm.
Good clean sheet, did well. Do they really want to be playing an FA Cup game this weekend? Absolutely not. So they're going to probably make a lot of wholesale changes, and something might
They're
happen.
playing away at they're playing away at Spurs as well. It's not like they're going to Port Vale or Blackpool or something. You know what I mean? It's a
So who
tough game.
who who needs that? But who needs that result more? Thomas Frank or Unai Emery?
Oh, Thomas Frank by a mile.
Right. So Spurs go with a real strong team. Villa probably go with a slightly weakened team, yeah,
Mm,
because he's thinking about the league game and he's thinking about the Champions League the following week, yeah. And when that goes down and Villa get knocked out, if they do, we'll chat about it next week, I'm sure.
yeah.
All of a sudden, Villa have missed the opportunity for winning a trophy, which their fans would have given their left arm for, all because, these meaningless games.
I wonder though. You look at Unai Emery. I mean, now he's kind of a cup guy as well, isn't he?
Well, he's
I,
got a
I
great pedigree
yeah.
in cups.
So I just wonder, would he deplete it that much?
I don't think it's that he
I just
depleted
wonder.
that much.
Yeah.
I just think, like, listen, here's the thing. Ollie Watkins doesn't start. He absolutely starts Daniel Malin.
Mm,
Jadon Sancho will start. And Emi Buendia will start. He'll start. Who started last night at fullback? It was Luca Digne. And he brought Matson off the bench. Matson
mm.
will start. The boy Marco Bizot will start in goal. And,
All sound potentially as well like enough that could beat Spurs.
well, listen, and that Villa team, there's a lot of guys
Mm,
who he really gets every last drop out of them,
mm,
right?
yeah.
Um,
Their fringe is decent.
yeah, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. I don't know if you've realised or not, but one of their best players over the last probably 4 weeks has been Victor Lindelof.
yeah, saying that actually, saying him in a couple of games actually, he's very solid.
He's been really good for
Mm,
them, really good. I watched an interview with Emery, and they spoke about, how did the deal, because he spoke about Lindelof. He said, how did the
mm,
deal for Lindelof come about? And he said, well, to be honest, he said, I actually called Juan Mata. He said, because Mata played for me in Spain, at Valencia. And he said, I called him and I told him that, listen, I'm looking to offer him a deal, and because I need some cover for Pau Torres and Tyrone Mings, every concept, blah, blah, blah.
mm.
And I wanted to know what kind of guy he was and what kind of level he was, a professional and blah, blah, blah. He said, and Mata couldn't say enough good about him.
It's a
Said he
great
was
story.
great.
Great story.
Said he was a great boy. Said he was, really good professional. He's obviously been Swedish captain for quite a while as well, don't forget.
You
So
need
highly
those, but
thought of there,
you need those seasoned pros around your team, don't you? Very,
right?
very important.
And then he
We
goes
spoke
and he
about it
gives
so
him.
much when it comes to Chelsea, haven't we?
He's gone and he's given him the deal then. And now
Mm,
all of a sudden you're looking at a case where Man United won't get Champions League, but Victor Lindelof and Aston Villa will. And he was a guy that we said wasn't good enough for our squad,
yeah. Mm.
you know?
It is amazing when you take that experience out. Then you just you don't realise how exposed you are then, you know.
Listen, I'm not saying if we have Victor Lindelof for the season, it's where we've any differences to how things have gone for us. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
However, what I would say is, I think at times, and we've I spoke about this with, I think it was Ian a few weeks ago.
Mm.
Um, I remember us talking about a Chelsea player, and I can't remember who it was. It was a Chelsea player, and he wasn't good enough to play for Chelsea. And when he got game time at Chelsea, I was the boy Chalobah. And when he got game time at Chelsea, the Chelsea fans weren't happy, and they farmed him out
Mm.
on loan to Palace. And
Yeah.
when he went out
Yeah.
on loan to Palace, he got in the England squad, and all of a sudden the Chelsea lads wanted Chalobah back.
Brought it back, yeah.
But when he was just Trevor Chalobah at Chelsea, he wasn't a big enough name for the fans.
And environment is key, isn't it?
It is, but
Environment
like,
is key as well. And
you
and
know,
coaching as well,
but there's an
you know.
assumption at times that because this kid came up through the ranks and we didn't pay 50 million for him, he's not going to be good enough, which is ludicrous.
Mm.
Like, it's
Yeah.
ludicrous. Surely to God, and I've had this argument with United fans a number of times. If he is that kid who's homegrown, if he is that kid who's in your academy since he's 10 or 11 or 12 years old, he's the one it means more to. He's the one we should give a break to when we're discussing why something's not working. Because
Mm.
him more than anybody should want it to work.
Yeah.
You know,
Like as if you were talking
um,
about Reece James, you know.
I've talked about it when it was Scott McTominay,
Mm.
and people were throwing stones at Scott McTominay. I was like, hold on a minute here, lads. We've paid 50, 60, and 70 million for 5 or 6 lads around this kid. Why
Mm.
are we pointing the gun at Scott McTominay? He's
Mm.
given absolutely everything for us, right? And somebody called me out and said, "This is a strange hill to die on. He's not a good footballer. He'll never be a good footballer." I still have that in text.
Mm.
That's the boy who won Serie A Player of the Year and was named on the list for the Ballon d'Or this year. Just so you all remember rightly. Environment is key to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Environment
Yeah.
is key. Um,
I think when you can get that environment and that coaching right as well, and that relationship, and when the coach can sell you the importance of you to the team, even when you're not playing, I think it can drive that other 15-20% back out of you again. And
that
it's
that's
great to see it.
why that's
Mm.
why I always felt, and you know this more than anybody, that's why I always felt the star of the show at Liverpool was always Jurgen Klopp.
Mm.
I listen, Liverpool had plenty of good footballers,
Mm.
it's Salah and Mane and Firmino and lads like that. But it was what they did as a collective. And the collective comes from the guy
Yeah,
sitting in the dugout.
they were willing to run through a wall for him. They were willing to go to
Absolutely.
war, get into the trenches for him, and more often than not did.
And at
And
United, lads were willing to run through brick walls for Fergie, but it was for a different reason.
mm.
Because I think at Liverpool, I don't necessarily think there was what you would describe as a fear factor.
No, it was more admiration, I think. He
I
was a
think they
father
loved him.
figure. He was a
I
father
think they
figure.
loved him. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think when you see your dad trapped in a burning building, what do? You go into it to get him out, right?
yeah,
And I think
yeah.
every one of those Liverpool fans would have done it. I think at
Mm.
United it was very, very different because I think at United there was a fear factor that if I don't do it for this lad, I'm out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And I think that's how it went at United.
Two very different personalities.
Very different
Yeah,
personalities.
yeah.
Very, very different. But I mean,
Where's the managerial situation going? What do you reckon? I read something today as well. Are they still going ahead with Ollie? Or are they siding with Carrick? Or are they going with both? And then I seen Tuchel is in the conversation all of a sudden for after the World Cup.
Tuchel was very much in the conversation
Yeah, that's what
since Amorim left.
I read that today, so I wasn't too sure. What's your thoughts on that?
So I had it on relatively good authority, I would say. Michael Carrick, I put this into our WhatsApp group the
Mm.
day Amarin got let go, right? You know this,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, yeah.
And Michael Carrick was getting the gig as an interim from now till the end of the season. That was what I heard was happening.
Yeah.
And the back end of that story was that was going to give them a time to go and either get Oliver Glasner, because his deal would have been done at Palace,
Mm.
or Julian Nagelsmann at the end of the World Cup with Germany, because they were looking at Glasner and Nagelsmann, and because the boy Christopher Vivell has quite a large say in how things are going at the minute.
Yeah.
So, from what I believe again, and I put all this into the WhatsApp group, there was an issue in the summer around Vivell and Amron. Amron wanted a new striker at the club. He wanted a striker to help him play a certain kind of system and to be able to play the press.
Yeah.
And for that, he asked for Ollie Watkins, because he's a nippy, fleet of foot kind of guy who can break on his own with balls down the sides and over the top, get in on goal, put something away, and do a lot on his own.
Mm.
And United said, we're not going to sanction. Well, Vivell said, we're not going to sanction Ollie Watkins because it's not the kind of strategy of how we want to spend money. He's an older player. He won't have a huge sell on value. This will be
And
all about the
big money.
now. This will be all
Mm.
about the now, and it won't be about building for the future.
Mm.
And Vivell came back to him and said, we're looking at Benjamin Sesko. And Amram was like, well, I don't really have a huge issue with Sesko, except it's not what I need to make my system work. And Vivell said, well, I think what's going to have to happen is you're going to have to make it work. And I think he pointed to Gyökeres and he suggested that you made the system work with Gyökeres supporting.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
Amran kind of said, I did, but don't forget, Portugal's slightly different than England.
Absolutely. 100%.
And they went the Sesko route because Vivell was obviously a part of Leipzig, the Leipzig group, the Red Bull group, and he had a gig at Leipzig at one stage, so he knows them personally.
Mm.
And they went and they did the Sesko thing. And if you notice last night, everything we did on the pitch last night was geared towards Benjamin Sesko. From having Dorgu on the left, Junior on the right, and Fernandez at 10. And this is apparently what Vivell has wanted all along, but Amron wouldn't sanction because he was playing a certain system, and in order to play
Mm.
the system, he need inverted players, not guys to go on the outside. And this is where this all butted heads and blah de blah. Darren Fletcher, I believe, is the yes man for the moment,
Mm.
and he's been put there as the face, but Wilcox and Vivell will do a lot of the background, and they'll be the puppet masters, and it'll be Fletcher that says, do this, this is how we're going to run it. That's why if you look at, say, Cunha last night, Cunha the face on him, because he knows I signed for Amarin because he wanted me to play a certain way, and that suited me.
Mm.
Now Amarin's gone, I've got Darren Fletcher asking me to play another way because he wants to shine a light on Benjamin Sesko. And
And
this
because
could
this is
ruffle
and
a
because
lot of feathers.
this is what the powers to be want as well, yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Which is tough. That's very tough.
And we know obviously with Cunha being a bit of a hothead and a bit of a lunatic as well, it'll be interesting to see how that whole area develops.
Yeah, and we listen. We'll have to see over the next few weeks how things settle down. I've no doubt there's guys who were upset last night with how the week has played out.
Mm.
And when your head isn't in the right place, maybe you don't make the right decisions on the pitch because your judgment's a little bit clouded and stuff like that. And maybe
Mm.
after another week or two, things will simmer down a little bit, and lads will start to enjoy themselves and do what they're being asked to do and stuff and
Mm.
whatever, and we can get the wheels turning. And I still, and I know a lot of people think it's going to be Ollie, I still expect it to be Carrick.
Mm.
That doesn't mean
Who's in charge for the FA Cup game? Is it still Fletcher?
it's Fletcher. That
Okay.
doesn't mean that Ollie won't be involved, but I still expect it to be Michael Carrick.
Yeah.
I said this from the word go because, as I
Yeah.
told you, um, a reputable source told me that that's what to expect.
That's fair enough.
So
Right.
he is meeting. Solskjaer was at a funeral today for a
Mm.
Norwegian player or coach that passed away, a Norwegian legend, I believe. His name evades me, but Solskjaer was at the funeral today, so nothing was going to take place today. So that's why they said they would make sure that Fletcher had the gig until the weekend. I think talks were going to happen today with Carrick, and then there's a discussion possibly to happen tomorrow or Saturday with Ollie, and then I expect probably Monday or Tuesday the
But
lads to come out.
you're not getting the combo deal, surely. We're not going Roy Evans here, Jared Hill, the crap, are we?
I think you could.
You get both of them.
I think we could.
Ooh, how would you feel about that?
Um,
Because
I don't love it.
I know you're a big Carrick fan from his
I
Borough
don't
days and
love
all
it.
stuff.
I
Yeah,
think I think Ollie has had a spin.
yeah.
I think I'd be more, and I think Carrick started to do a real tidy job at Middlesbrough.
I suppose
Um,
these will probably feel a bit like ambassador roles, will it? If it's Wilcox and Favell who are really setting the chime.
well, it does depend on what they're told, because
Mm,
I'm making the assumption that when they go in for the conversation, they're gonna ask the question, well,
mm.
who's picking the team? And then it's gonna be, well, hold on a minute, lads. I ain't signed. So Ollie has said he's happy to go in any sort of a role. This is the only thing that makes me doubt that it'll be Carrick. If they tell Carrick they're gonna play a bigger hand actor part than Carrick wants them to, Carrick's gonna go, "You're all right, lads. I'm not interested. Give it to Ollie."
Yeah, that'd be disappointing.
It would be
Because
disappointing.
I would like to see Carrick and see how he gets on. Because I know we've had a lot of time from at Middlesbrough and stuff like that. He had done a real good
Done a
job for the
real
club.
nice job at
Yeah,
Middlesbrough as well. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
real nice job.
yeah.
And they fell into a little bit of PSR difficulty and had to
Mm,
sell quite a few of um their
yeah,
crown jewels, shall we
mm,
say. They
yeah,
sold the boy Chuba Akpom to Ajax for
yeah,
about 15 or 18 million, and then they sold the boy Finn Azaz back to Southampton
yeah.
for about 12 or 14. So it's almost 30 millions worth of players that left the building in a striker and a number 10, so to speak. And they sold the boy Emmanuel Latela to the MLS. He had been absolutely tearing it up as a number 9. I think they got
Mm,
15 from him from Charlotte or Atlanta. And then and they didn't really replace them. They
no,
replaced them. They bought the boy, and I'm going to give you this kid's name, and I want you to remember this name, right?
yeah.
Because there's a kid who was playing a lot of football for Plymouth, and he left, and he ended up,
I should know him. So
yeah,
being
and
FA
he,
Cup weekend.
well, he played a lot for Plymouth, and he moved to Borough for about 8 or 10 million, I'm going to say,
Okay.
and he's So there's, if you look back at it, there's 3 or 4 players that absolutely smashed the championship up and took the step, right?
Mm, yeah.
So Jude Bellingham, Morgan Rogers, Garrett Bowen, right? All playing in the championship, absolutely smashed it up and got the steps. Now, okay, Bellingham's a different gravy. Rogers has done unbelievable. Bowen, unbelievable. The
Mm,
next guy is a guy called Morgan Whitaker. Um, he generally plays on the right hand side of a front three. He's tall, he's leggy, and he's quick as attack. He has an absolute thunderbolt in him, scores a lot of goals, and scored an awful lot of goals at Plymouth. And he's doing the exact same thing at Borough. And there is no way if Middlesbrough do not go up this season, there's no way
He'll be
Whittaker plays. There's no way Whittaker plays Championship next season. He absolutely steps up Premier League somewhere 20 to 30 million, and this kid will smash it. We are January 26th. Give it 2 years being the England squad.
Well, we could be potentially looking for a right forward player. So interesting.
Really, really good player, this lad.
Yeah,
a really good player.
I'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, absolutely. Right, listen, I better jump off because I'm fading here.
I was gonna say you were there about 3 days at this stage, were you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. I can see that.
Yeah, so I'm fading now. I'm starting to cough now. I need to get some Bronco stop into me and stuff. And also, I shall chat to you in the morning, no doubt.
You will. You will, as always.
Our mid-morning chat, as always. Yeah. So, folks, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like on the video. Appreciate your company, of course, on these watch-alongs, stuff like that. And don't forget, tomorrow night, around 7:30, we will be going live for SmackDown in Berlin. Can Drew McIntyre, our boy, the Scottish Warrior, can he take the belt off Mr. Thunderbirds himself, Cody Rhodes?
So, Gary, who I'm going to go to Raw with, goes out with my niece Nicole, and they're actually in Berlin at the moment.
Okay.
And Gary obviously didn't book this very well, or Nicole booked it, one or the other, because they come home tomorrow. That's a mess.
That's a mistake.
That's a mistake. Now, what I will tell you is it's -5 over there at the minute. It's freezing, and there's 2 to 3 feet of snow everywhere. But Gary passed the arena that Raw's going to emanate from, or that SmackDown's going to emanate from tomorrow night. And when he did, the truck was parked outside it. He sent me a picture of the red and black truck, and he was disgusted.
I had an 8-year-old in with me the other day, and he's a huge Gunther fan. 8-year-old, huge Gunther fan. And he's heading over to Berlin on Friday and staying, and then he's going to Raw in Dusseldorf on the Monday. So he's a big fan. The 8-year-old has all the posters.
Somebody's done a real good job there, haven't they?
And you know what he says to me? I said, "How come you love Gunther?" And he goes, "Because the mat is sacred." What can I say? What can I say to that?
Can't argue with that. Is it think about that, right? You're heading over to Germany on a Friday. You're coming back on a Tuesday. You're doing 4 nights there, right? Between Berlin and Dusseldorf, and you're seeing a SmackDown and a Raw. Yeah. Whoever mommy and daddy is, you'll get a very large pat in the back for that.
It's parenting 101, isn't it? Parenting 101.
Yeah, sure.
And he was about to buy an Adam Copeland AEW shirt. And I said, "And you're a Gunther fan?" I said, "Hang on 1 minute." And I had a Gunther t-shirt, and it says on it, "The mat is sacred." So he got the Gunther shirt instead of the Adam Copeland shirt. So there you go. So I like to think I played my part as well.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. Right. Talk to you soon, folks. Cheers. Catch you tomorrow night for the live SmackDown show.